The following is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, violence, and nudity. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Dave's Drama Diner. I am your host and proprietor, Devious Dave Rose. And as always, let us start off by showing our gratitude and appreciation for those who have chosen to spend their time with us today. So we've got the man with two first names, Foulmouth Ken, Travis TLC, Steve Callan, Z the Reaper, Irish Dave, Coda, J Diz, Casey is Raw, Bam, Kurt Allure, who else here? And all the other people that are currently watching right now. So we're back in business with the diner. Our staff had a good amount of rest after that very busy few days, and the kitchen's all restocked. So today's special is actually steamed Cronin with Tantrum-infused tzatziki. Very delicious meal that I have gotten our 5-star chefs to prepare for you. Now, you may have noticed, actually, if you do watch it, or, you heard through the grapevine, that Monetize This is no longer up from Friday. And it would seem to be that Joe took it down for several reasons, and, the reasons weren't really that clear from the beginning, so, there was a lot of confusion. But later on Corrupted the next day, or actually, I'd say Corrupted the next day, supposedly admitted his reason for doing that. But, that is questionable nonetheless. We've seen this before with Joe. And we also know that what was I just about to say? We've noticed this has happened before. Also, the day after Monetize This, he decided to go live, I believe the same time that Ken was going live. Shout out to Eclipse there in the chat. And, Ken was doing his show. I think Ken was doing a show then. I think it was Insomniac. And, Joe went live with his Q&A at the same time. And he was on, for quite some time with his makeup show. And then obviously afterwards he went into Corrupted. But, very, very comical, because we all notice that whenever there's a stream going on, very often Joe will then do his own little Q&A and... I guess, a little passive-aggressive swipe there. But let's actually go through the information that we have acquired in regards to his conduct on Corrupted, which revealed much more into what occurred during Monetize This. So let's start off with this one.
Parker says, what is something in the past year or two that you wish you could have done different, hope to do better in the future?
Give more people COVID.
I wish I had died several years ago in a fucking car accident, and I wasn't here right now. Randy Viber says, what is the best state for immigrants moving to the USA?
Wow. Number one, you got 3 kids. I don't know why you'd say that sort of thing. And, dude, this melodramatic victim playing is it's tiring, okay? Donators don't usually want to hear this, and, donators also, don't like this constant victim playing, So, that sort of thing is not appreciated, for one. Also, I just want to quickly add is that he goes into a discussion now about which state immigrants should move to, and basically Joe reveals in this that he really doesn't care about the law. He thinks that, illegals should just be able to come on in, no problem, and that they should easily be able to get social services and immediately start drinking from the taxpayer's teat. But who cares? It's all about the feelings. It's all about being nice and stuff. Like, forget about the law. Forget about literally hundreds of years worth of building up a country so that it's stable and not a third world shithole. Then you open the doors up to the people that are leaving those shitholes just to change this country into a shithole. But Joe has no problems with that whatsoever. Typical white East Coast liberal. Hates America, fucking thinks America owes the world, and really doesn't give a fuck if his promotion of illegality causes the entire structure to break. Because after all, his feelings are what's important. His virtue signaling is what's important. And I had this discussion, I can't remember with who, but this particular, what he says during this, which I don't have, and I'm not going to cover it either, because it's this typical same old Joe fucking talking out of his ass about shit he doesn't know and essentially promoting illegality. But yeah, it's just fucking stupid as always, and it's embarrassing, and it's infuriating. As an immigrant myself, I don't like the country that I came to being, I guess, pimped out to fucking third world garbage that just wants to make it as bad as the place they left. And that's what we see with fucking Joe. So that's another issue. Obviously, the victim blaming is an important thing, but I also believe in supporting the rule of law. Let's move on to this clip here. This is the explanation, supposedly, that he didn't fire Tommy.
That was fucking so weird. Yeah, that was weird. But the weird thing about him is that, like, not that long ago, he's like, hey, what's up? And he's cool to me. But then he talks shit about me other places. Like, he'll be like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Like, and I'll be like, hey, Tommy, how are you? And I was talking to him, when his dad, passed away. Obviously, I wanted to talk to him and like, are you okay? And he was like, thanks for reaching out and let's talk. And hey, man, hit me up anytime. But then all of a sudden, then I'd hear him be like, Joe's a scumbag somewhere. Like, what the fuck? Are you the same guy that I was just talking to yesterday on the phone? So honestly, I think he's a fucking scumbag. So I would never
that's
fucking.
The name of the game.
Oh my god, dude, what is with that? Like, it's with everybody. There's so many people that do it.
It's everyone else's fault but yours, right, Joe? There can't be something wrong with you. No, it literally is the entire world. All 7 billion minus 1. It's all them.
It's like fucking just drains me, dude, in this fucking whole fucking thing.
Well, maybe you shouldn't exert yourself waffling things into the wall.
Hope I hit the lottery someday so I can get the fuck off of YouTube and fucking all of this shit. Never.
I'm sure that the donators like that.
Come back, because
which
man,
is why
I'll tell you.
Like it's so. Like,
oh, dude, there's no right answer. It's just people. You know what it is? There's no right answer to anything.
No, right answer.
No, dude, it's just people. No, people want to bully and fucking. People want to have something to talk about. Nobody has anything to talk about if they can't talk about me. If they can't talk about me, there's nothing to talk about. Or if somebody.
That's bullshit. Now, I decided to go live today because of your little tweets there, making yourself look like a victim, and I'm tired of it. I had a little bit of time today, and why not put you in your place?
He can't shit on me. There's nothing to...
Also, you're ignoring the fact that I literally did 2.5 years with podcasting prior to me even appearing. Well, actually, there was some times where I was still on that podcast and doing Joe Cronin stuff, but I did that, produced it. I made it gold. I've done stuff on my own. I've done stuff that had nothing to do with you, nothing to do with wrestling or drama or anything like that. Okay? I have actual creativity. I don't think of one show and then literally stop after 2 episodes. I have intelligence and can discuss just about any topic. So, no, you are incorrect.
Do. And that's all it is, man. It's just fucking, it's like high school shit, like girl bully shit. That's all it is. Pile on, change narratives, make up shit that isn't really there with something small that kind of happened, but we'll manipulate it into something bigger. Dude, it's fucking insane. It's very sad. And the weird thing is, those are the people that are like, I love God and I love everybody. Like, it's just like the biggest fuck.
First of all, I'm not I'm not going to be dictated to by a fucking godless commie.
Fucking, it's like, no, it's not even worth fucking going into all these separate things. The Tommy thing that I saw in the chat earlier is just the latest thing. You know what I mean? Like, I never told someone ever once that they were fired from anything. Like, that's never happened. I've never fucking fired anybody. Like, that's not fucking, that just, you can't produce that video or that fucking clip or fucking anything, you know?
People said that.
Fire someone who works for free, you know? Like, what the fuck? No,
I remember somebody. Oh, I remember. It was. I think it was SC.
Oh, don't.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, so really there was. Oh, let's hear that again.
Not once that they were fired from anything. Like, that's never happened. I've never fucking fired anybody. Like, that's not fucking, that just, you can't produce that video or that fucking clip or fucking anything, you know?
People said that.
Fire someone who works for free, you know? Like, what the fuck? No,
I remember somebody. Oh, I remember. It was. I think it was SC.
Oh, don't.
Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Don't do it.
Oh, your narrative just got destroyed by a guy who wasn't even aware of what you were talking about, right? Good job. Now comes the admission of the tantrum. Now, if you saw that clip, you would have seen him waffle his mic against the wall and then against his on-air sign. And that's when the
birthday for Bullfrog.
I love you. Happy birthday.
You. Sorry, Jesse, that you, I guess, talk that much. I hope that everything's all right.
I thought Jesse was fucking hilarious. I was about to come back to the show last night, and then Jesse was going in on fucking Jews, and I was like, "Oh, I'm fucking just fucking end this fucking show." He was like,
Sorry, this is from Corrupted explaining the tantrum.
I really thought that last night was going to be the last time we saw Jesse, like, ever.
"Oh no, it wasn't him."
That was his go-home show.
It wasn't him. It wasn't the donations. It wasn't him. It was fucking... I just had a bad day of, like, answering about all this just bullshit. Like,
You could be a little more detailed.
and I just had enough of it. Oh my god, dude.
So yeah, that's that's justifiable. You had a hard day, so you take it out on inanimate objects that cost money that you could only afford to replace by getting donations.
But if I do, he said something like really weird.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go to the next clip here. This is, he sung a song on Corrupted about Bullfrog, which was very disgusting for one, and makes me question why he can't be a little more creative, and why does he always have to really just go for low-hanging fruit or just some really disgusting type things.
Hey, Bullfrog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah! Let's pull it up.
There was a time when Bullfrog wasn't fat and he could run without collapsing. But now he's overweight. He's kind of big and shitty when he crushes a child, when he's raping them.
What the fuck?
I want is a child in my bed. I know I could hold him down by pressing on his head. They were dying when I met them. Now they're dying 'cause I squashed them. Touching their kids' pee-pee.
Because I'm crying. Now Nerdy's dying because he heard.
So it's perfectly fine for Joe to state these sorts of things to Bullfrog. No freak out there. But if anybody even hints at that, whether it be Ken, whether it be YR, SC Steve, me, anybody else, then the world comes to an absolute end, and it just further highlights his hypocrisy that, yes, he was willing to shit on anyone but Joe. And Jay Diz makes a great point. I mean, Bullfrog loves attention, so him reacting to it is no surprise. Exactly. Here's the thing, as we saw with the Bullfrog song by Junebug, is that it doesn't matter if it's an insult to him, because he's involved, he's getting attention. And as most mentally retarded individuals that crave attention, he's loving it. He's not listening to the words. He doesn't care. He just cares that, oh, someone's paying attention to me. And fucking sad, for one. But, I mean, Joe, come on, man. Can't you maybe do something better? But, you know, there's no real thought that goes into his shock jock shit. It's just like, oh, let's just say shit and maybe something will stick. You know, somebody will find something funny. I mean, you know, considering your comedy is of a juvenile nature, and a lot of your audience are mentally retarded to that juvenile state, yeah, it makes sense while some of the stuff will work, but it's just real sad, really. Now, let's review the Freakout.
About to go away.
You got Ken, you got Scott.
There goes him.
Oh, you don't like them being talked about?
There goes him. There goes him.
You got Scott. You got Scott. Ken, you got Scott.
There goes him.
Oh, fucking Christ. With a fucking argument.
Also, I don't appreciate when these clips that are sent to me are repeated over and over. I can do it myself. No need to fucking do that.
You can deal with
It's your birthday, and Jesse could say the N-word if he wants to. N-word if he wants to.
I was only like the 8th fucking time saying it. It wasn't even a big... It was the... What the fuck, dude? Like, here I was ripping a goddamn joke off of, like, the Mr. T with the Hulk Hogan. I'm bigger, and then fucking, next thing I know, I said Igga, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know.
Reminded me, like, he said Passion of the Gibson. Wasn't there something out there saying they were going to do Passion of the Christ 2?
How can you do Passion of the Christ 2?
Well, you would do the bullshit Easter thing. Like, he rose after 3 days and jerked off on a kid. Like, that's what you do, right?
life. I don't think I ever had racism. The only thing that I ever had where I thought about race, the first time I ever thought about race was that story I told you when I was 11 and I got...
Oh, and fucking when you were in...
I'm not sure if I believe that, because this was when he went to Mardi Gras with his mother and his mother's boyfriend. And this is the guy that apparently was, constantly ragging on him for listening to rap, constantly using derogatory terms and epithets, and, scared Joe and shit. And I kind of believe that's where the virtue signaling started from. Because he's thinking, this guy, he's an asshole, he hates the blacks, therefore the blacks must be good because this guy's an asshole. So that's where his mentality, probably got into play. And, since then, it's clear that he sees everything in race. So I don't necessarily believe the story. This is probably when he finally woke up to realize that it doesn't matter if you have a black friend, if you claim that you're not racist, there are black people that hate white people. So that's just a fact. So it looks like he just fucking, got exposed to something that his sheltered New Hampshire East Coast life never exposed him to in the past.
Fucking
Mardi Gras,
Louisiana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the black guy,
Right.
he was a very big black guy, and when he shoved
So a very big black guy shoved a little 11-year-old. But Joe sees no problem with that.
all he did was shove me as I bumped into him, and he shoved
I'm
me.
bigger, nigga. Sorry.
And he said,
Will these assholes stop with their fucking fake outrage? Like, this is just plain stupid at this point. Give me a second here. I'm not going to mute myself because too often than not I forget to unmute myself. So you're going to hear me fucking blow the trumpet that is my nose. Now, this is where he freaks out. And, maybe it was Jesse that broke the camel's back at this point. But, Joe also gets mad. I've got recordings of this where people are talking over him and, they do so accidentally. And he freaks out. Or he has some little fucking underhanded little comment. There was one that I highlighted where I was talking to him like, oh, sorry, Joe, go ahead. And he's like, oh, nothing. Fuck this shit. And then I played it like I increased the volume, and then I, did a pass through and analyzed the sound and, made it come out much clearer. And it was very clear that he had a tantrum just for the simple fact that I didn't hear him because of his hardware setup. And as soon as I did hear that I was talking over him, I stopped in the middle of what I was saying, apologized, and encouraged him to go forward. And he was like, nothing. Fucking shit. And it's just like, douche, I got that recording. I've highlighted. It goes to show that you're the bitch. You're the baby. And you having yet another tantrum? I mean, at least it's good now you're in a basement. There's no windows. But what the fuck? What the fuck is your problem?
And he shoved me.
Bigger, nigga. Sorry.
And he said,
Smashes the mic against the wall.
Hey. I had, dude.
Real mature asshole.
I had, dude. Hey.
Uh-oh.
Fine. Fuck it.
So you're gonna have Joe mute you.
And for that, he stops the fucking show. Like, this is what a baby does. Okay, this is a tantrum. You don't get your way, break things. Then it was so funny. I don't know where my youngest gets that idea. I don't know. I never do that in front of him. There's multiple videos of you doing it in front of him. And there was that case where because you had lost your voice or something and your wife wasn't doing her job, I guess, fucking you have to rush upstairs where the kids are making noise and they know that daddy's working. And you grab it out of the kid's hand and you smash it against the wall. Okay? So, don't fucking lie anymore, Joe. There's no narrative that I'm trying to create here. I'm telling the truth. Am I saying that you're a domestic abuser? No. What I am saying, though, is that you're a liar. Because you said, oh, yeah, the kids don't see that at all. I mean, I don't even have a track record of breaking shit or throwing shit. Just stop, okay? Just stop. Let's go on to some victim playing.
Up on Twitter earlier, and I do want to say thank you to the people that upped their pledges. You guys are super vital. If you guys listen, people don't like the show. People don't like my show. They don't like what I do. They don't like that we have fun. They don't like that we have fun, basically, that we do a podcast.
You call that fun?
They purposely do these things. So super important, obviously. Become a producer if you can. That's really important. $25 producers. And
I'm not stealing your audience or your Patreons. I don't even have one. I mean, I wanted to set up Streamlabs today, but didn't get a chance to. Been busy. I'm actually delaying some stuff I wanted to do for you guys. But I thought that this would be, a good little afternoon meal. A little boiled Cronin with Tantrum-infused tzatziki. Healthy meal. But yeah, it's yet again more victim playing. Trying to make it sound like, oh my God, everyone's against me. And if it wasn't for you guys, we'd be done. And because these people are constantly attacking me and blah, blah, blah.
I mean, but you will be attacked if you are a donator and stuff like that. They've gotten to some of the producers before. It's happened, of course. Somebody else brought somebody up, and I mentioned it, and then I'm in trouble for it. It's been going on for a while, man. They got to somebody else again. They get to people all the time. This is what happens. It's a fact.
Stay vigilant.
Yep, it's a fact. Look at how the people were attacked. So be ready for that. You got to put up the blockers. But if you are ready to be a producer, $25 producer, or you're a $5 patron or whatever you are, you for some reason you have to select a tier. So if you sign up on Patreon and you go, oh, I'm going to be a $25 patron.
Yeah. Let me just quickly look through some of the screenshots here that I have. I'm just looking at some old screenshots where he, as always, trying to make himself look like a victim. Oh, this... hold on. Oh, this is great. This is great. Hold on. What do we call this? Dumb Joe is dumb. All right. Well, definitely. All right. I'm going to show you another more recent image in a second here, but while I was showing this. But just catching up with the chat here. I think there's a few people I didn't say hi to. It's the Costanza, Danimal. I think I saw Feslov in there. J Diz, Sleazy Cyan. Recalling Two Jaws. Bam, I think I mentioned. Yeah. So yeah, I thought this was funny. J Diz makes a good point. The show's not funny anymore. He chased away all the cool people and put nothing but drama out. That's why I left. That's a very good point. But it wasn't replaced with anything either. I mean, here's the thing. Everyone remembers when I was on there with Bailey, Jesse, and Joe. And there were times where it's just me, Jesse, Bailey, and Justin. Sorry, Bailey and Joe. And, you know, we just knew the structure, the synergy, and, you know, we merged to that. We moved through the show from, you know, welcome to the show, great, you know, it's been a long week, whatever, what's happening in the news, oh, that's funny, oh, did you hear about this, yeah, oh, UFO stuff, cool, oh, let's do a prank call, and that's when it would degenerate into more, but that would be the best way to do it. That seemed to have been a winning solution. And obviously that moved away, and what they have really right now is just everyone sitting on a call talking over each other, and I haven't found Monetize This fun for a long time, to be quite honest. I mean, I haven't watched it as of, you know, a while ago, I guess, a couple of months, but either the clips that I'm watching that are brought to my attention, or when I was on for, I guess, the last couple of months, maybe a little longer than that, it really just reached a low point. It was boring to be on. It was also not fun to be on, where you try to compete with other people so that you can be heard. Just too many people on the call, no structure. So it wasn't fun as a co-host. And, a lot of people don't like, a lot of people who are in the audience don't like to be up, that late, or they just don't like the content of the show, in the sense that it's no longer funny to them, entertaining. Maybe they prefer other people that were on there and are no longer on there. I mean, that's something that Joe is really suffering with right now, is that the total lack of quality co-hosts. That can't be denied, and that's why he's constantly putting out these tweets and calls for new co-hosts, because he's not only just reached the bottom of the barrel, he had to lift that barrel up and scrape the floor now, because there's nothing there now. And his attitude and his continual resentment towards others isn't making it easier to bring in new people. And his attitude actually makes it difficult to work with them. So he's obviously in a difficult position, but he's also sort of aggravating that. Let's go back to the chat here quick. I see some comment about Dr. Earl. Hold on. Costanza says, I still enjoy Dr. Earl when he's on the show, rarely. Bam says, yes, had Earl on, who at least has a personality. Don't know if he had a connection issue. Instead, he wants to bring on losers like Luis on. Yeah, that guy, honestly, his voice makes me feel physically ill. I feel disgusted by him, by his existence. And I would just not even listen to him, Jay Diz says, not me. That was Z the Reaper. Sorry, man. I'm seeing your names with other stuff too. But like everyone, as I wish the best for even Joe. Just hope one day he sees it for himself, that he does accept Bullfrog and Scott. They're in their own category. Yes. See, that's the thing. I don't wish harm on the guy. I want him to be successful, and I keep saying this from the very beginning, the guy should be working for Sirius. His sort of comedy on a specific podcast would work perfectly well for that medium. So, well, we're going to get into something related to that in a moment. Travis says, when Luis is a prominent part of the show, you know it's bad. Yes, it is. Jay Giles says he's gonna lost Drew. You mean he's going to lose Drew? Yeah, I think he's kind of pushing things a bit with Drew. From what I've heard, he's sort of, what's it called, riding him more or just being more hard ass on him. I don't know. I mean, Drew's okay as as just as an extra man there. He doesn't really hype things up, but at least he can keep fucking, conversation going. He's more mature than fucking Joe and many other people on there. So you can expect some non-juvenile discussions. He might put you to sleep. He might not be so energetic. But compared to Luis, there's no difference. There's no comparison, I should say. And, it's just... like Genius also mentions this, Jacob RP on there too. Yeah, Jacob RP shouldn't even be on there. And especially since what happened with the water boy situation, all that. And, Joe's always saying, no pussy's allowed. If you don't like it, you shouldn't be here. But he's literally allowing, Jacob RP on there. And why? Because Jacob RP is on the outs with the other people. So, just like the typical saying goes, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So if SE Steve associates with Ken, and Joe's gonna associate with the lesser mestizo, fucking Jacob RP. If if we're all gonna take a stance against Bullfrog, well then he's gonna scoop him up. So yeah. Now let's actually take a look at this. This is something I want. This is what inspired me to go live today. So Joey Jojo Shabadoo Jr. Actually, it's a line from The Simpsons. It's Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo. But regardless, let us take a look at this. So what Joey here is saying, if you add up everything I do now, it's about 70 hours of work a week. Isn't it funny how much I work compared to anyone who has the time to speak more than an hour a week about me, plus 3 kids, etc.? Your best? Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. This is very pathetic, for one. This is what pathetic people do. They go either on Facebook or on Twitter, and they put these sort of self-aggrandizing statements out there to try to build their confidence. And it is pathetic. Here's the thing, though. Let's break this down. If we add up everything he does, and I'm assuming this is his actual work as well outside the house and not just the YouTube stuff, but okay, let's consider it that way. It probably is that way, because I doubt it's 70 hours a week just of YouTube stuff. I could be wrong. So he says, isn't it funny how much I work compared to anyone who has the time to speak more than 1 hour about me? Well, I think you just sort of revealed your your actual fallacy in that statement. And I love how Kurt Allure is actually using the programming terms here. Work, and I'll just read it for him. Honored that somebody speaks Leet. But work does not equal quality. And that is what I actually said to other people when I saw this. Actually, to quote what I said, isn't it funny how his 70 hours of work is still worth less than the 1 hour someone else does on him? And that's true. That's true. Now, also, don't get pissed off at me, Joe, that you're literally oversaturating yourself and the medium with too many wrestling shows. So, I mean, come on, man. And like, all these shows and stuff. Okay, well, you got your wrestling shows during the week. Are you talking about... Well, you also have... monetize this 5-6 hours long. That takes a big chunk out of that, okay? Corrupted, usually 2-3 hours or something. It's not that difficult for you on a weekend to get a lot out. And plus, with the stupid Raw reviews and stuff, he'll go 2-3 hours, I guess. I don't think he's doing the SmackDown review anymore, but he was. And I'd always tell him, don't oversaturate yourself. Don't spread yourself too thin. And, like just doing extra shit shows that don't really have any value. There's some shows that he hasn't done consistently because of this, I guess, or it started. There's been some times he's missed Throwdown. There was also the Out of Nowhere that wasn't always on. The other week I guess he left, or that might have been for a Raw review, but Jake was involved or in charge of the broadcast, and Joe had to go do things or something. Travis makes a good point. I hope he's not including editing because all his videos are live and require no editing. Yep. And, he does these podcasts on Patreon and stuff, but, is that really an incentive to join? I mean, I want to subscribe to Joe's Patreon for the Joe and Jake show. Of all people, it's not like I get enough of them fucking on weekdays with the wrestling stuff. Now, let's put Jake on another show that, although Joe has said, oh, no, it's not about wrestling. It's just about random stuff and all this and that. And some of the episodes he released for free, it's a random stuff and then it's wrestling. So it's just like another wrestling show with another co-host that you see on every other fucking show. I mean, the guy doesn't understand branding, doesn't understand, how he's oversaturating the market, how he's spreading himself thin with literally the same garbage. Like, do you really need 3 hours to do a Monday night review? No, you could do it all in 1 hour. But it could also be because of the donations. So, maybe make a show after the Raw review that, allows for donations and allows you to continue to make money, but not under the guise of wrestling. There's a lot of stuff that he can do. But the point of this tweet is that it's hilarious that he reveals himself to just put out a bunch of garbage. Because, he's trying to get Patreons up. He's trying to get, more exposure and stuff. So clear what he's doing isn't working. So you can cry to the hills all you want about your 70-hour work week. But if it's not good quality, nobody gives a fuck. And, this is why you're doing the little passive-aggressive thing in the tweet. It's like, isn't it funny how much I work compared to anybody else? Isn't it funny you have a wife that basically doesn't work outside the house, and you're still having to fucking tell your kids to get out of your fucking room while you're broadcasting? The main breadwinner actually has to fucking constantly handle making the money and keeping the house under control? Like, you can't use these fucking excuses. They're false, for one. They reveal your actual agenda. And they're just sad, man. Your best, 70 hours a week? Well, Dave Rose does 1 hour and he goes home and fucks the bitches. I mean, come on, dude. Fuck off. It's just so sad. It's like, very similar to Scott, where it's like, okay, comic books, I'll pick this character. It's like, no, you can't be more powerful than me. I'm going to pick a different character that's more powerful. Okay, I'll pick a character that's more powerful than that. No, you can't do that. No. This is fucking tantrum shit. Joey Jojo Shabadoo. Junior Shabadoo. It's undeniable, Joe. It's too bad that you just keep doubling down like Bullfrog, rather than just come clean and say, yeah, it is you, and just accept that it is you. Not like, oh, well, it's me, but I don't really know why. I don't know why I'm apologizing. Just accept the fact that, yeah, you fuck things up, and, even with Tony and stuff. Tony's still, steamed on that situation with Jesse and stuff, and you had something good with Tony in regards to the guy could literally be your lounge singer / piano player. I mean, the visuals are also good. Those go well, you know, when you're showing video of people and stuff. But for whatever reason, you know, I don't even know. Back to the chat here. Travis says, throw down Jesse Drew, Nerdy, Rojas, etc. Monetize this. Jesse Drew, Nerdy, Rojas, etc. Corrupted. Jesse Drew, Nerdy, Rojas, Bullfrog, etc. It's actually ETC, not ECT. And there's no X in etc. God level burn right there, says Kurtalur. Travis says, what's the fuck the palm queen thing mean? I don't get it. Okay, so there's a line from The Rock, starring Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, where the main character, Nick Cage, is talking about winning, or about doing your best. And Sean Connery's character says, your best? Losers complain about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. So, you know, it's one of his favorite movies, and he still hasn't grown out of his childhood phase. So this is one of those lines that makes him feel tough. It's clear. It's like, the winners go home and fuck the prom queen. I don't think your wife was the prom queen for one. And so basically, your 70 hours wins over the 1 hour that still looks better than your 70 hours. Your best? Your best, Cronin? No. Losers post shit on Twitter. Real men do tribunals. Just fucking sad. So, back to the chat here. Irish Dave says, oh, that's because she had her noise playing WoW or some other game not to care. It's probably the type to have the TV or something else has their babysitter. Costanza says, Tony has his background set up looking good. People tune in to find out what room he's in. Z the Reaper says, what happened to Troy? Probably busy with his thing. I mean, you know, probably also gets a little bothered with Joe. But, you know, Troy's a hardcore leftist. The show is better without him. Yeah, so there's that. By the way, Skype lines are open if anyone would like to call in. Back to this image here for a moment. I thought it was comical for the fact that Joe, yet again, virtue signaling, and it's an older image, but you constantly find him put this sort of shit up. But it's a virtue signaling type tweet. And, you know, when confronted with actual questions that would be asked of an actual politician, he can't respond. So I'll just reiterate this. He's like, I wish I could be president. I would meet with every group weekly to hear, help, and heal. I would make changes without destruction. So I say, who cares about feelings? What would your economic, social, and defense policies be based on? And he's like, did not say I would make decisions fully on them, but to hear them and understand, then act accordingly. And I responded with, can't be president without a platform. As for hearing and understanding, Obama did that with BLM, who took it as permission to riot. And then he says, I would denounce, well, he tries to spell denounce, criticize, and perhaps disavow from the group until they were acting accordingly. Yeah, until they, you know, oh, they're acting nice now, but who cares about the $10 billion worth of damage they did rioting? Wow. Eclipse makes a good point. Joe begs for co-hosts like he's a network or something. Yeah, it's, you know, apparently it's a privilege to be offered that opportunity. And if someone denies it, it's like, how dare you? How dare you? But it's like Bullfrog, too. It's like, I offered you the opportunity to to be co-host on my show. It's like, are you really that stupid? Are you really that stupid that you can't even see the stupidity of that fucking statement? I mean, that statement deserves some sort of physical response. But let's welcome my best friend in the world, Travis TLC.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
Not too bad. This meal of steamed Cronin with Tantrum-infused tzatziki is quite delectable.
Oh, it's tasty and spicy. I can be real short and sweet here, and if there's any wind or anything, I'm sorry. I am outside.
Well, you don't sound anywhere close to SC Steve, so this is like studio quality compared to him.
Okay, that's good. I just wanted to touch on the his little line of like, if I wish I could win the lottery and I would get the fuck off YouTube and be gone. I'd like to just touch on that particular line because it's very telling. And I think if you dig a little bit deeper into what he's saying, you can kind of understand what he's getting at. So first of all, obviously that's a major insult to the donators, because it shows that, he's saying if I wish I could win the lottery and I would be gone, which means he's only here for the money. And when it comes to all the other people, well, fuck you. If I didn't need that money, I'd be gone and wouldn't be doing anything with you guys. That's what that's insinuating. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely, because if it truly was his passion, no, maybe he's burnt out, but if it was his passion, like logic dictates the following. You win the lottery and no longer have to worry about bills. Now that means you can do whatever it is that you like. So if, if he enjoys actually doing this, because it's fun, it's all fun. If he won the lottery, he didn't have to worry about anything. Like, I'm doing this full time now. I'm fucking taking donations and I'm going to match them and we're going to send them off to the kids hospital. Like, we're going to use now the fact that I am no longer shackled by debt, that we're going to fucking make the world a better place.
Yep.
Via YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. So that's one small part of that particular statement. Obviously there's an insulting aspect to it, but huge. I also think that when you hear him say that, I do believe him, and I believe him because it's a small bit of truth that is actually coming out. I do believe if money wasn't an issue, he would be gone. I believe he would actually do that. Now, would it actually last for a long period of time? Probably not. I would equate it more to when he goes off Twitter. It's a sympathy move is what it is. It's well, you guys don't want me here, well, I'm just gonna go away forever. I'm gonna leave forever now. It's a sympathy move is what it is. It's the same thing as I'm gonna go off Twitter and delete it, and then he's back, the next day. So would he actually be gone forever? No, obviously not. The ego is too big, but he would go away. If he could, he would. But he made the unfortunate choice, which was none of our choice. He made the choice of making this his sole income. And so he can't go away, so he's kind of stuck in this rock and a hard place. Wants to pull the sympathy card, but can't do it because it would be a financial detriment. So that particular sympathy card he can't pull. So that's why it's like eating him up inside. You know what I mean? Like it keeps eroding him slowly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You kind of get what I'm going for there. That's kind of what I'm sensing with statements like that.
Yeah, I see the same thing.
And the frustration comes from an insatiable desire to pull that victim sympathy card and actually leave, for a period of time. Like he wants so badly to do that, to like shove it in everyone's face and be like, there, you made me leave and I'm gone forever now. Like he wants to do that so badly, but just can't, because he knows that would be not a good decision to make, at least not currently.
Sorry, you cut out the last point there.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the last thing you heard?
It was like the last 10 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying that his frustration levels are so high right now because he clearly does want to pull that particular card of, oh, I'll just leave forever type of thing, but can't.
Yep.
You know, it's financially a bad decision to make. He has put himself in this position and can't do that, but wants so badly to do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And yeah, it's evident. But yeah, this is sort of coming to a culmination, and we've seen it progress worse and worse. But
yeah,
every time he has the opportunity, like for the times where he's called in, he was on YR show, I believe, last week or something, and you know he had that opportunity, I guess, there to like just being on a call with Ken doesn't give you the higher ground, Joe. Like you guys can work it out or at least settle things on a call, but. You know, it's just funny, though, that he'll say shit, you know, when he's on his show or not like Ken's name be spoken. But if he joins onto a call that Ken's on, it's all cordial and nice and so forth. Won't go on a call with me, though.
Well, let me just correct you on that. That was on Bullfrog's show.
Oh,
and
Bullfrog.
Also, when Joe called in, Ken was not on the call. Ken came back on after Joe was speaking for a little bit. So Joe came on not even knowing that Ken was on there. He had no idea.
Oh.
Yeah, because when he first came on, Bullfrog was like, Ken was saying this and that. And then Joe was like, oh, Ken, say no more. No need to even say any more. That's all you need to say is it was Ken. You know, that type of thing. So he didn't even know he was on there.
Yeah, there's been other times where he has called in, like YR, you know, brought him in and stuff. And, you know, they had that opportunity to discuss. But Joe keeps, you know, sort of going back and do these little passive-aggressive things and, you know, doesn't want to act like an adult. Just like Scott. It's like, what do you expect me to do if you talk about me? It's like, why don't you be the adult and show us how much better you are and not talk about anything? And then, you know, well, I can't do that. I freak out when somebody's telling a lie, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'll show that fucking screenshot in a moment. Just to quickly point to the video here, or the stream where I've got the Twitter message up here. Basically, this guy is just mentioning that he's willing to watch if I come back and, you know, I'm on the show with Bailey and Joe, and Joe says he was on last week, then he shit on the shows. As soon as he apologized, he may come back. Now, what do you think, Travis? This is obviously the mind of someone who's acting quite juvenile. And as we've talked about in the past, he always puts a big emphasis on apologies, at least to receive them. Not when he has to give them, because he doesn't know why. But to receive them, it's expected, it's demanded even. And, you know, as Ken and I have said on air, it's like we don't give a fuck about words. We don't give a fuck about apologies because they don't mean shit. If we see somebody actually change their actions, well, then that's, you know, their behavior. Yes, that is worth more than a fucking few words. I'm sorry. But this little kid seems to think that apologies are just like fucking Bullfrog. These are the things, these are the cogs of life. And they're necessary. Apologies apparently are necessary to these fucking morons.
Yeah, the point of apologies is to be accompanied with behavioral changes or actual actions alongside the verbal apology. Now, when it comes to Joe's apologies, it's a lot like Bullfrog's, where you hear the, you know, I'm sorry for whatever I did. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry anyways. That type of disingenuous type of apology, like just to get you off their back kind of thing.
Yep, that's exactly why.
But that particular tantrum that we saw, which is rather embarrassing, that's the inner child coming out there. That's exactly how a child reacts. I'm sure you can think back to when you were a small child and you may have, in a pit of frustration, thrown something, you know, or punched a wall or something like that, or like you punch your pillow or something. That's what that is. And as an adult, you have the ability to refrain from those type of actions. I've actually seen children with better self-awareness and can contain that better than this adult that does that type of thing. It also shows a lack of
self-control.
Yeah, the self-control, but the value that that particular type of item holds.
Yes.
You know, that's a very expensive piece of equipment. It just shows a lack of care, much like the PS4 being broken and the other equipment that's been destroyed. I just don't understand why you would do that. Maybe it's because like the PS4 was given to him, so you don't feel any sense of accomplishment for even acquiring it. But the mic, which is something essential to his job, to do that just seems very irrational.
It is. It very much is. But there's a track record of it, and there's continual examples. So it's not something that can be overlooked or even dismissed by Joe like, oh, no, actually, this is a big issue, man. This is a fucking huge issue. I want to bring attention because Danny Boy does like to, yet again, after so many years, try to claim that Jesse and I attacked him and that I lied about him, and that's why he freaked out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the screen we have the actual proof, and I'm going to read out some of this stuff here. Feel free to stick with us, Travis. You know, I don't want to keep you if you have to go, but hey, man, lines are open. You're free to stay nice and cozy here in the diner.
Dave, I will let you get to what you're doing. I will continue to listen. If I feel the need or have the ability to call in again, I will.
Always appreciate it.
I think I got my points across, but just to be safe on my end, I would just like to reiterate that I do not hate Joe. I do not wish to see harm upon him. I do not want to see him fail. I invested in him financially for 6 years, and I never want to see him fail, and I hope for the best for him. But these behaviors he has brought upon himself. I did not make any of this happen. This is all his own doing. So I would just like to state that.
Well, we appreciate the honesty and candor, and you have the receipts to prove what you said is true.
Okay. Thank you. I'll be listening.
All right. Thanks again. All right. As we allow for one of our patrons to leave the store, we're going to add this guy in because he just called, and I don't know why it didn't add him in. Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us here at the Dave's Drama Diner. How are you doing?
Party for one, please, and tables open. I want like a booth.
Come with me, please, and have a seat right here, sir.
I prefer a booth, you know. I might sound like an idiot, and I hate when people do this, but I've been in my own little world watching other stuff, and I checked YouTube, saw you were live. Just now tuned in. What's on the menu, basically?
Today's menu is boiled Cronin. Sorry, no. Today's actually steamed Cronin with Tantrum-infused tzatziki.
Oh, I gotta go back and watch then, because I don't want to be asking you a bunch of shit and you reiterating it. Number one.
Yeah.
But what is it, stuff from Corrupted and Monetize This?
Yes,
basically?
we are reviewing clips that were provided by the Sparrows regarding his tantrum, line about Tommy being fired, the reason why he ended Corrupted, Monetize This, how, just victimhood stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we've been going on for only an hour now, and we've stuffed quite a lot into to that hour. So you're definitely going to want to catch up because there's a fair bit of things that I discussed.
Who called in here already?
Just Travis so far.
So I feel like Fatmouth should call in because I really want to go back right now and watch it.
Okay, you go to that and set it to a 1.25 speed, I guess, and you'll catch up quick. So you do that. I'll continue with the show, and maybe we'll hear from you in a bit.
Yes, thank you, brother.
All right, thank you for joining us. So let's reiterate, because I did say we could review this last time I talked about this at the Drama Diner. But this is private conversation with me and Jesse on Messenger. And we're talking, initially on the left here, we're talking about how I've met a different group, very open-minded. And I believe I was talking about Lucky Lowe and I think some other people from Ken's group, with the conspiracy stuff and all that. Then he says, should be a lot more fun with for you than working with JCS. So, Jesse was already getting it. Jesse was already understanding where I was coming from as well as him. I said, I've learned a bunch too, very much. It's just cool that they want to hear my opinions on things that I and you got ridiculed when we were on Joe's show. Next time I'm on a call with them, I'll hit you up and see if you want to join us. Then I go on and say, dude, Joe did lie about you. He said you and I were trying to bully him when we tried to talk to him. He and Jake called you a meddler. Okay, so Jake also has been involved in this for a long time. Jake's been connected to Joe's sphincter since Joe let him on. Jake being Jake, just very thirsty for that affirmation and for that attention. So, he's Joe Soldier here, but later on there was a big fight and stuff, and, Jake went away and then he came back later. But so, yeah, he and Jake called you a meddler, always trying to play Dr. Phil. Mm-hmm. Leah's also said that. JB's even said that. Okay. And I go on and say, he even said every former co-host who is no longer on is a scumbag. Now, this is actually from... When was this? Hold on a second here. I think this is 2017, or is it 2016? Let me go back to the file here. This was from May 19, 2017. Okay, so then we move on to the second portion there, which says, I'm not even sure you realize exactly what he thinks of you. And now it comes, a little further here, or at least more revealed. He's like, I don't care much. I don't much care what has been said on air. People can think what they like. And I say, my issue is that Joe is citing you as verifying that I lied, when in fact it's the opposite. Remember when we tried to get him on a Skype call and he freaked out again and then unfriended us? Enter the truth, people. Hope you're watching, Joey Joe Jr. Shabadoo. Yes, but to me, the whole thing is about as vague as my birth, meaning I just don't care anymore about petty YouTube drama. So he just told Joe whatever Joe wanted to hear to get him off his back. Let's go once more for Daniel Cronin, who's quite hard of hearing. Jesse says, yes, but to me, the whole thing is about as vague as my birth. Meaning, I just don't care anymore about petty YouTube drama. I simply agreed with Joe that I don't remember about lies, and I don't care much. Or I don't much care. He needs to work on his grammar. But as far as you being a liar, that's his words. Hey, Joey Jojo Shabadoo. Hey, Joey Jojo Shabadoo. How you like them apples, Joe? How you like them apples? I want you guys to ponder this long and hard. There you go. This is the freak out. Or this is Jesse's response. This reveals the truth. So Joe, and I've got the screenshots for Joe freaking out on me and Jesse, showing how much of a bitch he was. And this, because, you know, the last time I reviewed, Joe's like, I just freak out when I hear lies. Do you freak out too when you get exposed for being a liar? Do you freak out too? Because I'd love to see a freak out video. Maybe you can waffle that mic into the wall again. I simply agreed with Joe that I don't remember about lies. Well, that's interesting because Joe straight out said, Dave lied. Dave lied. Let's see some of those fucking images. Dave lied. Dave lied. No, Dave didn't lie. I mean, we can see it right there. Dave did not lie. Oh, are you bothered that Mr. Consistent yet again gets proven correct and retains the title of Mr. Consistent? Let's just see here. Where's that other image here? There's one. I want to find the one with the tweet, which he tries to make it make it look like I'm just lying. Yeah, hold on. I think I found it here. So many screenshots. Just a reminder, call lines are open. Joe deletes comments. Oh, that's another one. Some of these screenshots are just so fucking funny. Let's go back to the chat here. Ryan Murray says, watching Irish news, and they're showing Japanese people in Spain celebrating the cherry blossoms. Okay. Not sure why you're mentioning that. But, yeah. I mean, I could show so many different screenshots, but I think this is sufficient, at least with this particular issue. Oh, actually, there's other stuff that I'm going to review, some clips and stuff. Yeah, I can't find that one image where I made my tweet about Joe lying, and Joe's fucking pissed off. Let's see, where is it? Also, just a lot of these screenshots just confirm how pathetic a big number of fucking Joe's fans are. Just fucking pathetic. Let's see here. I'll find it eventually. But regardless, let's play this clip, actually. Now, somebody by the name of Mikey the Dog just started up a new channel, and they've got 2 clips on there. So let's play both of them. Oh, let me just unmute it.
You fucking faggot retard. You just exposed yourself to everyone that you're a fucking retard, pussy, retard, faggot idiot. You're the nigger. How about that? How about that? You're the nigger. How about... You're the nigger. You're the nigger. You're the nigger. You're the nigger. How about that?
How about that? Cash me outside. So that's when Joe at least had some balls. And there wasn't that fake outrage and like, oh... But now, you can't fucking... You can't even mention shit without, you know... making Joe freak out, essentially. And, well, you could still be shock jockish and get away with it if it was done right. But I do find that clip comical. And now let's play this one. Oops, let's try that again.
Tommy at all anymore. That's why I don't talk to Tommy at all anymore. Like, do I get rid of Tommy? I don't ever had to get rid of Tommy. I don't ever talk to Tommy now because the guy is kind of a fuckhead. But I had to get rid of Tommy. I heard that Tommy said that I fired him or something like that. Someone told me earlier, and I said, dude, listen, I did not fire Tommy. Tommy stopped coming around the show. But I had to get rid of Tommy. But before that is what I'm talking about. Before that he left, I had sort of kind of stayed away from him when he was like, oh, come on, or I'll do this. I was like sort of staying away from him.
Two Bell Tommy, call in, Tommy.
So I've had no desire to really like be like come on the show, like, or
you know, that night texting me saying Two Bell Tommy, call in, Tommy. I wasn't gonna do that.
I never told someone ever once that they were fired from anything. Like, that's never happened. I've never fucking fired anybody. Like, that's not. But I had to get rid of Tommy. Fucking that just you can't produce that video or that fucking clip or fucking anything, you know. But I had to get rid of Tommy. Fire someone who works for free. But I had to get rid of Tommy.
Very interesting. Very interesting. So which one is it, Joe? You had to get rid of Tommy? Just stop lying, man. Just stop lying. This is just, it's now you're just going to double down. You're just going to fucking double down now, and it's just like, why? Why don't you just admit the reality of the situation? You know, you might actually be able to rectify the situation, to be honest. And, yeah, this is, I mean, Travis made a great point, is that, like, this is sort of like you brought this on yourself sort of thing. And, you know, people did try to help you, and they did tolerate, a lot of your bullshit. And you strung them along, making them think that you'd be able to, or they'd be able to help you out at some point, and, you know, no. But, hey, I don't know what episode you're in with that Jake and Joe podcast, but, hey, I'm sure that you guys are discussing some very great things, you know. Totally different from fucking your other shows and Corrupted and all that. But, you know, just keep fucking throwing those little jabs out at Ken, saying, you know, I freaked out because Jesse was told a lie. Dude, we just showed that that was a lie. You're not getting away with it no more, Joe. Okay, this whole freak out of, oh, Dave lied. Dave lied. Actually, I've got to find that. I want to find that fucking screenshot so that I can show you guys where it shows my tweet and stuff. Because basically I just, again, the truth, reveal the truth, and Joe didn't like that. So, let's see if I can find that here. I know I had it. I think it's here. Nope. I just saw it. There it is. Okay, so this is what I wrote on Twitter. Okay, so this is more evidence that Jesse doesn't like confrontations. He likes to cause chaos and fights, but he doesn't like confrontations. So, what we have here is the tweet that I put out. So I put this here, just reading from the top. I'm done with the whole thing, but I was forced to address all the lies about me. Because Joe, again, if you don't fucking respond, he's just going to fucking pile on you. He doesn't think that anyone has the guts to fucking go back at him. And, you know, because I am, you know, the superior in this case. I didn't feel a need to constantly do the bullshit that he does, which is to constantly make videos and put the little jabs in there and stuff and think that, you're getting away with it. So Jesse says, why was this brought up? And he puts the tweet. And I had said, Jesse J quit all involvement with Joe Cronin because he was tired of all the lies Joe was saying about him. That is the truth, not what you've heard. And that is the truth. And you know that. And Joe knows that. And then I further on and reply and say, because for the past 4 weeks, Joe hasn't stopped lying about me. Why I left. See, I say I left. Why other co-hosts left, because again, he's always got to do that fucking narrative, that he apologized to me like 70 times. Always love that exaggeration there, Joe. And when asked about it, he's like, I don't even know why I apologized 70 times. And he's like, that he keeps saying he's cool with me, which is obviously not, because just like with Ken, I'm cool with Ken, and then shits on Ken with all this shit. Then shits on me in the same breath. Enough is enough. Well, there you go. There you go. So this right here is the tweet that I made. And all of you who know the situation at this point know that what I said in that tweet was 100% true. And with Jesse's confirmation that I just showed earlier, it actually goes to prove that, yes, he didn't care about the response. He knew what it was. He knew that I was correct. But he didn't want to cause a conflict with Joe. And he wanted to smooth things over and just move on. So he just told him what he wanted to hear. But you all know that Joe is a liar. And that Jesse J did quit involvement with Joe because he was tired of the lies. And I've got the screenshots that confirm that too. Because when we tried to speak with Joe, we went and, we made this group chat. And, we try to get him on a Skype call. Guy freaks out because apparently that's bullying. That's bullying. 2 people, my co-hosts, want to talk to me at the same time on a Skype call. That's bullying. I'm freaking out. You're bullying me. And prior to that, for a little freak out, we have Jesse admitting that, he's tired of that lies and the bullshit. And that he did walk away, and he was talking about how he was further up in this conversation, how he was happy not working with Joe and not dealing with that bullshit. Because yes, Jesse J did quit all involvement with Joe at this moment, at this time when this was written, because he was tired of all the lies Joe was saying about him. Joe, you're a liar. You're a liar. Okay? You're a liar. You've been revealed as a liar. Dave Rose was correct yet again, and you've been exposed as a liar. Okay? Stop with the lies. Just fucking come clean. Just fucking come clean. That's going to be better for you and for everyone. Stop doubling down. Stop trying to make yourself look like a victim. Just man up. And maybe you can even go as far as say, yep, all your co-hosts left because you were the problem. Maybe that will actually, give them the insight that, maybe you are willing to change. Maybe there is chance of reunion or something like that. But no, you're going to keep doubling down. But you've just been exposed yet again, Joe. So don't try fucking talking about this shit again without expecting that you're going to be exposed yet again. And, the more it has to be exposed, the more screenshots, the more proof that's going to be released. And, people can easily then make up their own mind. I'm giving you the opportunity to fucking come clean. That's up to you, really. But as always, you're going to double down. You're going to say that a narrative's being painted. And then I'm going to just come out with another video proving you wrong again. Okay? You keep saying, 70 hours. Okay, well, then I guess you're not going to have the ability to respond properly, or if it is, it's going to be in such a pathetic little manner that you're just going to get another fucking roast video on you. So it's up to you. And again, I've got 52 viewers here that are, somewhat enjoying it, I guess. You know, it doesn't compare to your hundreds or whatever. That's fine. But definitely people here are interested in what I'm having to say. And I don't plan to be a YouTuber or, you know, there's no chance that I'm going to be taking, you know, food from your kid's table. But, you know, you just like Scott, have sort of conducted yourself in such a way for so long thinking that you were untouchable. And I think that the biggest wake-up call for you was probably Nikki Nines. But, you know, I've reached that point, too, of that sort of intolerance. And, you know, I'm just, at this point, I'm not pulling any punches, and I'm just going to fucking wreck everyone with the truth. So, you know, you can think that your old strategy will continue to work, but it's not. This is 2021, no more stupid. And I'm sure it makes you sour at the fact that we can't work together and, you know, that there was so much potential with the things that I was providing you with, but you're the one that fucking led it to this point. If you had just bothered to let us work on Final Frontier News, as you said we were going to, and you didn't string me along, I would have made you money in 30 days. I could have had a separate enterprise set up as Final Frontier News and essentially begun to run it as a business. The, you know, 70 hours, whatever. Well, whatever time would have been spent on that, I would have done it for you. And I would have handled the running of that business while you handled the wrestling side. But see, the thing is, though, that's the biggest thing that you lack, Joe. Trust. It's not because of me. It's because of you. You chose that. So now you're reaping what you sowed. And, you know, it could have been a really brighter time for you on YouTube, especially with the coronavirus thing. There was times where a lot of people were stuck at home, and that could have been quite utilized. But now it's you begging for people to be a co-host on one of many shows. Still no structure, still no focus. So instead of like a laser beam, you're like a fucking, you know, like omnidirectional light. And meanwhile, people like me are exposing people like you and having fun doing it. And doing other shows. And having fun. And yeah, it's not a big deal, but you know, you're the one who's getting all bent out of shape and stuff because you're not firing on all cylinders, and look who you're surrounding yourself with. Garbage hosts. Garbage callers. Like, you really need to refocus yourself, Joe. You need to focus on streamlining your operations and figuring out where you're going to spend your time on, because I've always said your time management skills are abhorrent. Absolutely abhorrent. So I do find it comical that when you say you don't have the time or you spend all this time, I think to myself, well, considering the amount of time you wasted while I was working with you, I can think that a lot of that time is probably just wasted time that could have been better utilized. Back to the chat here. Welcome to Based Alcatraz. Let's see here. Ghost Gamer says, anyone like Can Act Big on Twitter, chillin' in basement, dusting cheese, doodle dust off their gym shorts? Punctuation definitely helps. Zest in the chat says, I would have been a Patreon to Final Frontier News. There was a lot of people that wanted to be Patreon specifically for that. They didn't want the wrestling stuff. They didn't want anything else. They wanted me on Final Frontier News. And they wanted that on a Patreon. And, well, Joe didn't do it. It was all about trust. Joe doesn't want to relinquish power or control over anything. And, you know, when he can't control someone and they don't want to be under his yoke, he's like, well, I can't trust you. It's like, no. The fact is you must always be in control, which is why you need to continue to string people along, rather than say, you know what, we're both on the same page on this. I trust you. Here's the information. Get it done. But there we go. And yeah, I mean, like, look at all the shows he does, like Morning Madness, and then he's got like these little fucking streams and stuff. And, you know, it's all on the Patreon, or at least a lot of it's on Patreon. So, I mean, people don't know about it for one, at least, you know, the regular people. And is it really worthwhile for Patreon? Is it something that, you know, people want to pay for? Because without consistency and without some sort of, I don't know, model of operation, it's just spinning your wheels. It's like a Ferris wheel. It's like you're not going anywhere. Unfortunate. I had some good times on those shows. And, well, I do hope that, you know, things do work out for him and sort of improve. And, yeah, maybe he can actually do something on YouTube that works for him, that's beneficial and pays his bills and takes him away from, I guess, negativity and stuff. But that includes a lot of his audience. You know, there's some of his audience that are absolute trash. And a lot of them he panders to. Not just for the money, the donations. Because some of them it's not for the donations. But, you know, we do see the white guilt, and we do see that ethno-pandering, as he likes to do. So, you know, that encourages some of this behavior, especially when, for the longest time, Joe, for example, was such a pro-BLM guy, despite me being like, how can you be this blind? And, oh, Dave Rose is a racist because he identifies a Marxist organization bent on domestic terrorism. But, yeah, and you saw that tweet earlier where he's like, well, they'd have to, I'd disavow until they decided to start acting normal again. Like BLM ever acted normal. But this is the guy that constantly puts out fucking tweets or fucking some sort of, you know, statement on a show like, if I was in charge, if I was the president, if the world would be in a very bad place. I mean, I would think even Hillary Clinton would do a better job than fucking you. But it's this virtue signaling vomit. It's disgusting. And I'm just tired of hearing this stuff, or at least that, you know, knowing that he hasn't woken up yet. But I don't know what other than a fucking riot around his neighborhood is going to red pill him enough to realize that his thoughts on politics are quite skewed. But hey, that doesn't stop him from speculating on, you know, his Shame on You show and what else? What else does he do? You know, some of these news updates and stuff. But but yeah, Dave Rose doesn't know what he's talking about. And I think he called me, well, yeah, the Nazi thing. There was the Nazi thing that he called me. I guess that was the last time I was on there. On to monetize this. So just give me a second here. Apologies for that. Now, where was I in my little rant? Well, I try to remember. I've also multitask and go to look at the chat and say, Travis says, Dave, I bet he couldn't tell you how a bill is passed. Yeah, I don't believe that how the government functions is something that has ever been much on his mind. But yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to, I mean, you guys have seen this. When I've been on shows and stuff, I've always had that that desire to discuss geopolitics or What else? Economics, things of some weighty nature. Now, yes, granted, monetize this isn't, or I guess isn't, the best place to discuss that, but it's, I mean, it was at one point. JB, me and Joe had some good discussions on politics in the past. And in fact, even prior to that, Dead on Dave, Tommy C, Jesse, Joe, and sometimes Tosevich, they had some good political conversations back then. But that's the thing, though. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. It was just something that really mixed well with the other stuff. So, that when there was that but when there was that sort of structure to the show, to me, it worked much better, and many topics could be talked about, and everyone would get some enjoyment out of that. But with regards to the politics and stuff, I'd like to talk about that, but unfortunately it got to the point where I couldn't talk about it with anybody because everyone's just so ignorant about the topic, or just so jaded, or just so stupid, believing the propaganda, like Joe, for example, or Jesse even, or Leah, where you can't even have a rational discussion with them because they don't have all the facts, but they're just going off the headlines that CNN says or something. But, Dave Rose, he's, hardcore fascist or whatever, they're saying at that point. They can never sort of explain, my political stances, despite me being very vocal about them. So, they just have to throw whatever the liberal media tells them I am. And, there's been many times on that show where it's like everyone's yelling at me. And he was talking in the clip earlier today, like high school bullshit and stuff. It's like, dude, the stuff that I faced on fucking Monetize This was high school bullshit, because I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm triggering all these morons, and they're all yelling at the same time, trying to get me to answer their question or respond to them. And it's like, well, if you guys were all adults, I could easily go through and answer each one. But, you guys are acting in such a way where if I try to answer Joe, Leo will be like, oh, you can't answer. It's like, but I'm literally in the process of, answering Joe. Then I can go to you, and the audience obviously pandered to. So there's that when it came to trying to keep the show somewhat mature, at least in certain aspects. And I think that changed a fair bit after JB left, to be quite honest. And JB's not even close to my political stance, but, there was stuff that we did agree with and stuff we didn't agree with. But I guess he's more conservative than Joe. Like, JB's just a liberal, like I guess a classical type liberal, like a 1960s Democrat, believes in the Second Amendment, in the First Amendment, in equal rights and all that sort of thing. But he's not like a Cronin communist, a Crocom. That's what we're going to call them from now on, Crocoms. And, Crocom philosophy is obviously very bad. It is American democratic socialism, i.e. Marxism, with an American flavor. So Crocoms, basically are everything on Joe's side, which is far left. Joe is far left. Let's not delude ourselves here. He'll say, "Oh, I'm kind of center. What does he say? I'm an independent. I know my political system. I'm an independent." Why, are you a candidate? What? I'm an independent. An independent voter. But what is your political leaning? What are your political beliefs? What are your socio-economic beliefs? That will give us a good idea as to where you stand. But, with his always ambiguous stances of, I would, I would bring people together instead of, cause division. It's just like, you're even worse than some of these scumbag fucking politicians who are always putting out pleasantries, and people like me can see right through that shit because we know they're not going to do shit. They're just using words for dumb people like you to get them off their back. And that's what you use. I mean, no pragmatism whatsoever, whether it be in your statements or even, because you actually do believe it's true that you would be a better president, that you'd be able to do all this. But when confronted with the actual questions, I don't really know how. I do consulting. Can you tell us who you might put into positions of power who'd be able to consult with you to give you those that piece of advice? Any think tanks or any fucking international institutes that whose policies fall in line with yours? Nothing. Crickets. And I mean, okay, so maybe some of his audience doesn't want to hear that shit, but there is a substantial amount that do. And when I was there, many people would thank me for bringing these topics up. And I got several people who were like, either I was totally against you and like my politics were totally the opposite of yours, but all you did was really just present this information. When I looked it up, my political stance has changed like 180. Because I didn't realize I was being lied to so much, or that there was these alternative viewpoints, and they led to facts that I could verify for myself, and and I got proven wrong, and that Dave was right, and there was a lot of stuff that Cronin was spinning or whatever. And yeah, either people have either said that they've changed political stances because of what I revealed to them, or they said, you know what? I didn't like you at first. I'm still, totally opposite of you politically and stuff, but I now respect you because I understand what you're saying. You don't have this clear SJW agenda to try to push a narrative that all you're doing is saying, here's the information, make up your mind yourself. And, you're not imposing your view onto others, or morality. That's a big one. Expecting others to, fall in line, sort of thing. And I've always been like a Morpheus. To me, nothing greater to me than, empowering someone with knowledge. That's why I got into outdoor education after, well, actually, that's also why I got into IT. But I mean, I retired from that because it just wasn't challenging anymore. And, there's a lot of stupidity in the industry. And plus, they ship off a lot of your jobs overseas and shit. But, I got into outdoor education because that's always been a passion of mine. So I decided to make it a career, and just the ability to teach anybody, someone who's 4 years old all the way up to someone who's 94, teaching them a new skill, something that they can do themselves, get better at. There's nothing more pleasurable to me than imparting knowledge into people. And giving them that opportunity to then use it themselves. So let me just catch up with the chat. I know I'm all over the place, but we're having fun here at the diner, and everyone is being fed. So let's see. We've got a new viewer here, Cody Gouda. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Monetize this all-star cast was Dave, Ken, JB, and Jesse. Now it's like Make-A-Wish circle jerk. That's a very good statement, a very succinct statement. Yeah, I mean, that was an all-star team. And I think there was only a few times where we actually had everyone like that on the same call. But yeah, that was good. All of us really work well together. Any combination of those names as well as all together work really well, and have worked well in the past. So yeah, good points on that. Travis says he thinks independent means free thinker. Oh, that's another line that he said. Yeah, and that's actually, I blame Drew for that. Because Drew started to say that on his podcast, that he was he sort of stated his political stance, and then he's like, basically a free thinker. So from then on, that's when Cronin started to use that. And it's just so fucking pathetic. I mean, don't use that term because he's... Oh my God. Okay, I don't even... You guys know why we don't even have to discuss that, okay? Let's... Back to the chat. You guys know if I find, I'm a tenacious bastard. So if I find something, I'm going to, clamp onto that like a fucking bulldog. And it's going to be hard to tear me off. So let's keep going. Travis says, as if Republicans or Democrats for that can't think freely. Yes. Travis says he says he's independent to spite his wife. Well, then wouldn't he just call himself Republican or maybe National Socialist to piss off his wife? Or maybe the anti-Irish party? I think at one point there was one in America. Yeah, she would be spited by him showing any political view that's not, what she believes is the right view. Or the proper view. When, if you use the word right, some people might say, oh, you mean right, right side or... let's go back to the chat. Kurt Allure says, it's always failures who support such policies. That's a good point. It's the Costanza says, more like autism speaks. Lagoon says, based on what I heard, my mindset is on par with Travis. Lagoon says, I want the guy to do well, but the content is repetitive and oversaturated, just like WWE. You've become what you hate. CM Punk. Let's see here. What's the next comment? Goon says, I listened up until a bit. This tweet first on screen. Okay, and what's the next one here? Travis says, over the years, I've noticed a lot of spite towards Leah. I don't know. I mean, maybe he's just getting pissed off that she's constantly ragging on him and not doing anything around the house that, he recognizes. There's been times that I've heard when I was on there where she was just getting mad that the kids wouldn't listen to her. So she's like, can you go talk to the kids? They're not listening to me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. People will say, oh, Dave can't comment about kids because he doesn't have any. I was a kid once, and I was a little shit for another. And I pushed, limits. And because of that, I got spanked. Oh, my God. So, discipline. Discipline's a good thing. Corporal punishment is a good thing. If you don't like it, well, then I suggest you start buying extended warranties with your TVs. And everything else, for that matter. Because, quite honestly, this is, it's something that needs to be commented on. Regardless, let's see here. Costanza says, I missed the cornhole experience. Well, now that you're blocked, Travis, you should do a cornhole experience on Joe and present it to Foulmouth Kenton. Ryan Murray says, just a woman. Don't pin too much on it. It's purely episodic. No, they will be held accountable for their actions. The 19th Amendment was a mistake, and universal suffrage was a mistake. Jay Giles says, why didn't Joe get mad when A.J. Adams said the N-word before Jesse did? Your guess is as good as mine. Lagoon says, first appeared. Must cater to Dave's grammatical correctness. I appreciate you looking out for my neurosis. Thank you. Luke Rojas. Not sure if that's really him, but yeah, not sure why Joe hung up on us for mentioning those names. Oh, come on. Come on. He also says, not like he don't just subtle. Okay. Ryan Murray says, I think Ryan Murray is Irish, so I'm going to try to do an Irish accent here. 2 days prior to St. Patrick's Day. There's a reason kids don't listen to women. It's called authority. Quite right. You're bloody well right. You got a bloody right to see. All right, Luke. The one Goon says, Luke, we both can appear on JCS at any time. Minorities get a JCS pass. That's true, unless you speak out or you say that you have political views that are center or towards the right, because then you're an automatic sellout. Because nobody is allowed to have dissenting views while on the Joe Cronin plantation. Never. Luke Rowe, and we've seen this before, okay, Goon? Like, this is not the, like, I could really dig deep on this and go hard, because there's so many different examples that can be pointed to. And the hypocrisy's through the roof and stuff. But let's continue with the chat. Also, it's really vindictive and very immature to punish somebody who goes to somebody else's show. It's like, what if there's one person that likes both guys, like Ken and, I'm not going to say the other show. What if somebody likes Ken and Joe? What if somebody likes to donate to Ken and Joe? What if somebody likes to write in the chat for both channels? Well, Ken's not going to castigate that person or ban them from their Patreon. Joe, on the other hand, well, there's documented evidence that shows this has happened multiple times. Curious, don't you agree? Somebody sent me something on Skype. Let's see, what's that? Ooh, what do we have here? Something spicy, it looks like. Oh, we got the banchot death pepper just got brought into our kitchen here. I'm going to have to save this spice for another day. I'm not too sure that this would apply at this point. But interesting. Very interesting. That actually, thank you for that, Sparrow. But that information will probably be revealed, I'm hoping maybe tomorrow or some point this week. Probably later this week. I've got a few appointments in the next couple of days. So I'm not going to be around during these times to do this, at least currently, unless they decide to cancel, and there's always that case. So that will be reviewed later, because there's stuff to discuss in that. Now, back to the chat here. Luke says, don't get me wrong, I love Joe, but what's the motto for monetize this? The motto. Are you kids talking this way these days? Oh, maybe modus operandi? Is that what you guys are saying now? Travis says, if that's real Rojas, get ready to be fake for being here. Yep. All 51 fake viewers. Luke Rojas says, I'm 18 now. I'm not a minority or a minor. Clips says, Joe did election streams 3 days in a row and he didn't vote. Yes, that is correct. Now, I can tell you, and this is funny, this goes back to how we started off the whole show with the inspiration of Joe saying he works 70 hours a week. Well, I can tell you straight out fact that the stream that Ken did the day before the election, the day before Joe Cronin, right, was infinitely better than the show that Joe Cronin did on the election day and all the videos subsequent to that after. Because I think, yeah, like you said, there was like three days in a row of fucking his stream of, election coverage and stuff. All that put together, and those were multiple hours, all that put together was still worse. Didn't even compare to the one that, the one that Ken did. And that's not because I was there, okay? Yes, I was on Ken's show, But it was, if I wasn't there, the content that was being discussed and the people that were featured blew whatever many hours that was that Joe did out of the water. Pure fact. And, you know, I do have to say the icing on the cake with that fucking statement, and it was a deliciously beautiful statement and well worthy of being here in the diner, is that he didn't even vote. So, yep, no problem covering all this stuff. Remember, he voted for Obama once, but then he supported him the second time. So he's basically, you know, acting like Share Blue or some other CROCOM organization, domestic terrorist organization, to, you know, affect the elections and influence voters' decisions by putting out false information. And I mean, Mr. Consistent, okay? By now, most people should realize the level of fraud that went down, but there's still more evidence that's coming out and coming, and it's going to keep coming out, okay? I do wonder at what point Joe will finally swallow his words on that, but there was such delusion, especially from Leah, during the election and the subsequent days, and the overwhelming evidence right in your face of the election fraud, and basically not only dismissing it, but calling it an absolute conspiracy, you know, because nobody could take over and control the U.S. elections, when in 2016 she was saying Trump stole the elections with Russia's help and blah, blah, blah. And pathetic. And the thing is, though, you know that they can't debate me on this stuff, because in the end, it'll always degenerate to some sort of emotionality. And we heard the other day when I'm speaking with Bullfrog, and I'm trying to be, and I did sort of, I went hard on some people later on in the show saying, look, I'm not here to fucking pile on to Bullfrog. I just want the fucking truth. And I'm going to hold his feet to the fire for it. But don't fucking come in here and start fucking making this look or appear or even be a pile-on Bullfrog. If you're going to say something, it better be valid. Don't come in and just fucking throw something out there as just like, oh, I'm just going to try to piss him off. If he gets pissed off because of the truth, fine. That made a great show. But don't just come in to fucking trigger somebody, you know, because that's just cheap. That's low-hanging fruit. You don't belong on my channel if you can't fucking reach for the stars. But what else was I going to say? There was something else here. Damn it. There was some other thing I was going to say. Let me just see if I can remind myself. The elections and influence voters' decision. Fruit. You don't belong on my channel. We're talking about the election coverage. Joe didn't vote. Yeah, and then apparently, you know, I didn't want to, like, I was baking that day and doing other stuff, and they're telling me call, and I'm like, I didn't want to call at that point because I was busy doing other things. I was like, I'm literally in the kitchen with my phone, so I can fucking listen to the show and chat. But what? And I'm not gonna fucking install Skype on there and then talk while I'm cooking. Like, it just wasn't gonna work. So I was like, well, when I'm done all this stuff, I can call in. And like, no, you call in now. It's like, no, fine. I'm not gonna allow to be dictated to here. So, you know, then they're like, oh, you're just mad because Trump's losing. It's like, no, I'm looking at the actual facts here. Trump is winning. Actually, that was before, like, because the thing is, though, those actually ended up going, I think it was 1 a.m. when they stopped the counting, but then all these, you know, millions of votes came in for Biden. Basically more votes than people lived there. But, you know, so at this point it was more like, oh, you're just, I got to go back and listen to it. It was something like, oh, you're sour that there's too many people on there. I'm like, well, I'm not sour about that, but I mean, there should be less people on here if you want to have a discussion, because it was like a party for them. It's just like, oh, it's a hangout and stuff. If it wasn't for me, this guy couldn't fucking, you know, hold a serious conversation. I mean, on politics or anything of value. And they want to try to use an insult like, oh, you're just angry. It's like, no, I'm busy doing other things. And if me refusing to go on there makes you angry, all the fucking better. Back to the chat here. Got to catch up. Wow, this has been more active than I thought. There we go. Luke Rojas says, I don't care. Travis says, I was called fake and converted for being in Ken's chat. Yep. Clip says, Ken isn't even Joe's competition. Ken doesn't do wrestling reviews. Exactly. Ryan Murray, I got converted once. Didn't even notice it happening. Luke Rojas says, well, Ken is the only one with minors on his show now. I don't think Sausage or Shots Fired is my age yet. I don't know. If those guys are even around, I win. Cody says, I like everyone. This is YouTube. I pay for internet access. Therefore, I watch and go where I please. Jay Diz says, I like them both. Patreon member of both, but calling stuff out and being accountable is important as an adult. I'm sure we all looked at ourselves in the mirror. We're, most mindful adults. Yep. Travis says, Sausage hasn't been on in a long time. Jersey City Bros says, or Boys says, Luke Rojas, I'm done with Joe Cronin. Too many lies and crying. Luke Rojas says, the motto is not pronouncing it right, Dave. I don't get it. Eclipse says, Joe said he won't ever vote again, but let's have an election stream. Mm-hmm. Travis says it's for money. There was mail-in voting, and he still didn't vote. He didn't even have to vote Trump or Biden. That's true. Luke Rojas says, there's more Joe supporters here watching. I just don't care if I'm here. They do. LOL. Luke Rojas says, I have too much to offer to care, unlike the other Joe Simps. Ryan says he's libertarian. That makes his lack of caring better than you knew. Oh, better than you. Yeah, libertarians are a very stupid bunch. But he's not even a libertarian, though. That's the thing, though. He's a social democrat. Because his views on firearms are very cucked. And, even the weakest, limp-wristed libertarian is pro-fucking machine guns and shit. So, yeah, I don't think Joe's a libertarian in the slightest. Although that is it's supposed to fit into what he claims he is. He says he's independent. What he's trying to convey to people or try to convince them is that he's a centrist. We know that's not the case. He's a crow-cop. So, yeah, that's what he's trying to convey to people, that he's middle of the road, and therefore middle of the road is a libertarian. And we know that that's not the case, and on his view on several different things. Remember, I got ridiculed for bringing up the fact that cannabis cures cancer 5 years ago. This was back in the Tommy C days. Now how good does Mr. Consistent look? Luke Rojas says, D. Welsh, Drew, Broken Line, they're all watching, loving this right now. We all know it. They're free to call in if they want. Luke Rojas says, you can just @ and see whose names are here. I know. I'm just busy talking. Ryan Murray says, Risha stole it. 2020 is fine, though. Luke Rojas says, Bullfrog is drinking 7 Pepsi products right now, screaming at the computer. Travis says, Rojas does that work on phones. I can't make that work. You probably got a shitty phone. Luke says only on PC. Kurt Allure says, Travis, are you left wing? Oops, where'd that go? Apparently Jesse is here too. Thank you for letting us know. Well, there's 50 people watching and only 5-6 talking, says Travis. Well, maybe some people are driving around. I see Estivo. He needs to have his hands available So he drives the truck, moving around all the illegals inside the chip bags so they don't know the illegals are there. And he needs both hands. So he listens to the YouTube, he listens to the Dave Rose, and he cannot call in. Back to the chat here. Eclipse says, Joe said he did not want to vote. It's not like he had no time to vote. Absolutely. There's so much we can get into discussion about voting and stuff. And he should really count himself lucky. At least, I'm not sure if it's still the case, but at least until the 90s, to my knowledge, it was compulsory to vote in Argentina. And there's several other Latin American countries where it's compulsory to vote. So, you know, if you're found out that you didn't vote, you're going to get arrested and fined and jailed and on and on. But, you know, it's funny, though. That's actually happens a lot in, you know, these socialist countries in South America. And Joey Jojo is a affirmed communist, or Crocom. So I'm surprised that he doesn't either endorse that idea or is familiar with it. Travis says, Kurt, I'm apolitical. I do not like to involve myself. Too much corruption on all sides. Also, he's got a feeling somebody's watching him. Luke Rojas says, why did Tony and Junebug get converted over here to the dark side anyways? Well, you treat people like shit and they're not going to want to associate with you. So, you know, Tony tries to help Joe out, and Joey Jojo, you know, allows Jesse to do his thing, and that causes a conflict, and there we go. Then there's, what was it? Who else was it? Junebug. Well, you should catch up on them. There's a bunch of stuff, but let's see here. Bullfrog went on to Joe's show, brought up Gina J, who's going out with Junebug now. Joe didn't realize it, spoke shit sort of thing, just trying to joke around, but as always, no fucking filter and no fucking foresight either. So stupid Joe does stupid Joe. Said shit that pissed Junebug off, and Junebug, you know, responded to things, and Joe came out and started to believe other lies, and that he, you know, all like, it's documented. Don't want to get the stuff absolutely incorrect, but it's basically people voting with their money. Okay? It's like, I don't like the situation. I'm not going to pay anymore. And it's because of you, Joe, not because of what somebody else told me to do. And then, oh no, this person stole that other Patreon. Oh no. It clearly can't be that somebody just got fed up with this stuff, or maybe COVID hit them hard. They can't afford it no more. Maybe they've got a project to do at the house and they need to spend that money elsewhere. So, yeah. Also, Joe, I dare you to do a cooking show, because then you can say you invented the concept from the very beginning. But more importantly is that you can do something different. You can vary yourself, and you can go up against me, you know? Or would I be going up against you? Joe Cronin does have the ability to manipulate space and time so that somehow, some way, and he always gets away with it, is that he's always first. So, you know, with the time travel skills, he somehow got there before you, and he created the term before you. He created the show style before you and stuff. So he's got the time travel abilities. So you got to be careful. Let's see here. Apparently, Travis wasted his vote. Should have just voted for the fucking Chinese puppet. That would have been just be easier for you, you know. You get the social credit points. Ryan Murray says, "Oh God, the last Adam and Stitch stream was atrocious. They debated gender norms with Sargon for 3 hours." That might actually be a little Scottish, but I apologize. I don't watch that shit. And fuck Sargon. King David says, "That's me. I like Ken and Joe. I won't choose sides because I'm not that type of guy or friends. Support both." I'm not that guy or friend. Comma. Fucking start using some fucking punctuation. Support both, but see drama and tune out. And why are you here? Is my style of drama better? Is it because it's in the drama diner? It tastes better? We use the proper ingredients here. Oh, and fucking Luke Rojas I'm going these comments. I'm not even reading what's below. And Luke Rojas literally just read my mind. Or I read his. I don't know. "You're tuned in right now, King David. LOL." And then he says, "Are you going to tune out now?" Just to show that everything's organic and that we're all on the same page here. Kurt Allure says, "No luck. Don't say the K word. Joe will tear you apart on that Allure." Luke Rojas says he already did. Luke Rojas also says, "Only he can say Scott and Ken's name, not the guests." Very true. That is very true. Give me a second here. My mouse scrolled down way too much. A lot of stuff to catch up with. Jeez. You guys are really fucking writing a lot here. 62 fake viewers. Unbelievable. I bet half of them are being run by these bot farms. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm closer to this. Okay, so I'm going to try a little faster. King David says, "I like Dave and want to know what's going on since I'm not in on what's going on. What's going on a lot. I come back here and there since 2014, but I want to be like old JCS and Ken stuff." Ryan Murray says, "Centrist, I love the fence." Luke Rojas says, "You'll never get it to just like 2021 change the world for the worst. It's over. You got to just give in." Chad says, "Everyone says they are libertarian as a cool thing. Ask them about their stance on guns, drugs, big government, and you will find out if they are truly libertarian." Man with two first names says, "Where can good info on cancer and cannabis be found?" Go to phoenixtears.ca. Phoenix, as in the animal. Tears, as in what comes out of your eyes, plural, .ca. Rick Simpson provides this information for free. Any Rick Simpson oil that you find out on the market that's being sold is fake. Do not buy it. And he provides the recipe and the instructions on how to make this stuff. This will cure just about anything. And if not, treat it extremely well. And it's a variety of ailments. Now, obviously, it's not a cure-all, and it's obviously not guaranteed. But you've got people basically reducing a tumor in their body to the point where doctors can't even find it anymore. And this person continues to live perfectly healthy, no longer consuming the oil. So the oil basically killed whatever was in the system that was affecting them. And they continue to be healthy after stopping to take the oil. But, you know, Dave Rose is crazy. Or at least Dave Rose was crazy 4 years ago. 5 years ago, but now he's not. But I'm not Mr. Consistent. Luke Rojas says, "Did you see the heat Bill Burr got on Twitter?" A little bit. Luke Rojas says, "All the leftists in BLM attacking him, call him racist." Mikey McDowell says, "Bullfrog Skyped me 70 times in 4 hours." Luke Rojas says, "Don't ever insult the great Rojas like that." Blah, blah, blah. Give me something I can use. Welcome to Tony Revilla. Says, "Shouldn't be here, pal. If you like your spot in Croninville, I suggest you keep it quiet." No. Let him speak and preach from the clouds. Travis says, no, Joe brought up Gina. No, I think it was fucking Bullfrog that said that's his girlfriend. Shout out to Ken who's there. Oh, the YR. I'm just going to fast forward. They're missing a lot of stuff here. Whatever. All right. What the hell? Yeah, whatever. Travis says, Bird, the man who randomly has a southern accent but sometimes doesn't. Well, that's kind of like Joe, who randomly has a Boston accent and sometimes doesn't. Ken says, dude, I never cared who's in whose chats. Nope, you never did. Ken also says, that's the great thing. People can come and go as they please. Well, your show's a revolving door. Well, not revolving door, but it's, it's the doors open both ways. They swing open both ways. But with Cronin, it's one way only. You exit only. You can't go back through that door. Okay, just a bunch of little chatter there in the chat. But let's see here. I believe YR was interested in calling in. So let's get him on here. And if anyone else wants to call in too, please feel free to do so. There is much to discuss, and this meal is delicious.
Calling the YR program. How may I help you today?
Yes. Here's your delivery of contact-free, obviously, of your steamed Cronin with Tantrum-infused tzatziki.
Yo, let me call you back. Shit, I'm gonna shower and get comfy.
Unreal. Unbelievable. We bring him a 5-star meal, and he's in the shower. So, yeah, if anyone else wants to call in, it'll give me some time, actually, to pull up a few more files while you are gracing the air with your voice. And, yeah, Tony from Revere. Oh, we got... We've got the Don himself, calling in straight from New York City, the city that never sleeps, Foul Mouth Ken.
Hello?
Yeah, I just gave you a beautiful intro.
David?
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Test 1 2. Covenant leader to Raven. Come in, Johnny. Covenant leader to Raven. Come in, Rambo. Rambo, come in. Covenant leader to Raven. Johnny, speak to me. Come on, Johnny. Let's see if we can call him back.
Hey, hey, hey.
This is Colonel Troutman. Is that John J. Rambo?
You started me to do it.
Come on, Johnny. I'm here to take you home.
I don't want to go home. They started it. I'm going to finish it.
How you doing, brother?
What's up? You know that was on the other night? All the Rambos? Like they played them all back to back to back.
Seriously? Even the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, because I haven't seen that one yet with the Mexican cartel and all that shit. I heard it's good.
That one actually was fucking pretty good, man, I gotta say.
Dude, the one that came prior?
He's old as shit. The last one they made was pretty good.
But that's the thing, though. The one that came before that, the one where he was in, like, he went back to Vietnam and they go into Cambodia so he can save the missionaries and shit.
Yeah,
dude, that's probably one of my favorite.
Yeah, because it was so graphic.
It was but it was so visceral and it was so true. Like this is, it's like it's the actually the author even came out and said, because he wasn't too happy what they did with the first movie, because they made it more action than a sort of tragedy, which is what it was. But the last one, he's like, this is the truest thing. Not the last one, but like the one where he goes to save the missionaries. He's like, he's quoted saying like, this is the closest thing that Rambo ever was. Like, this is exactly how I wrote him, like this troubled guy. But when he gets, this time where he has to choose between right and wrong, he goes in like a fucking demon, and he shows that, he really is this unstoppable killer who is just, can switch it on and off.
Yeah. I like that one too, believe it or not. And then the last one, was definitely a little bit different than that one, because that one was just like, graphic, and like there were like some heavy machinery involved, and like,
so a little more story.
Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, I would say. Well, no, I would say the last one was more storyline than the second to last one. Because the second to last one, I mean, it was a good storyline in the beginning, but he was like, it was kind of, there was more of like just blunt trauma.
Well, yeah, no, yeah, there was, but that's the thing though. It's sort of, to me, it was the perfect sort of revealing into the mind of an actual soldier. Like, all these guys were mercenaries, and they were hired to do a job, and like they technically didn't have any loyalty to this group, but they were like, we were soldiers in the past, and you can't just fucking turn that off. And even fucking Rambo said that in that movie. He said, you just don't turn it off. Like, this is who we are. Like, it doesn't matter if we're now fucking just taking money because the fucking military shat on us and spat us out. Like, we are soldiers. We are, like, we do the right thing. We are the guardian angels when violence is necessary. And like, servicemen, I know servicemen. Just talking about this gives me goosebumps and stuff, because we know the horrors that they faced and stuff. But we also know that when the shit hit the fan, they were the ones who stepped up.
Yeah, well, that brings you back to the first Rambo, because I watched it and it refreshed me.
I love that movie, man. First Blood is amazing.
Sick. Yeah, like when he goes into the town, and then he finally meets him in the building after he basically takes on the whole town. And he's like, you just don't turn it off. And he was like, you could tell he had like, post-war shit going on, and like all that stuff fucked up in his brain. And, just going back to what you just said,
And there's an the alternate ending?
No, what was
okay? So there's an alternate ending to the movie. It didn't play well in theaters, so they never included it, but it is available on the DVDs and all that. But basically, when he's threatening to kill himself to Troutman, and Troutman talks him out of it, well, in the alternate cut, he blows his head off.
Oh, yeah, well, that would have been the
I
end
believe
of
that was how it was in the novel. But the thing is, though, that is also realistic, though.
Yeah, but then they couldn't have done anything with it unless they brought him back like fucking...
No, of course not. But, I mean, the thing is, though, that it also goes to show that they were open to... because at this point, it was very faux pas to talk about the damage the fucking war did on all the vets. Nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about fucking either the PTSD or the fucking chemicals they were exposed to.
And no one was making movies like that back then. That was like one of the first movies that like gave you a look into these guys returning from Vietnam, how fucked up things were.
Who else was it? There was all these movies, like Kubrick made Full Metal Jacket. There was I can't remember who else made them. Like, there were several movies. I think Coppola made a movie at that point too. But a lot of Vietnam movies that were critical of the U.S. government and how they were treating the vets after.
You remember Platoon?
Yep, there we go.
That was
that's one of them. Yes, with oh my God, there's a lot of actors in that one.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, those are all great movies, man. They tell a story, like realistically, Rambo, the first Rambo, was a story like you just said, like how he wrote the character, this broken, fucked up, just killing machine coming from fucking, being in war and killing everything and just killing, you know. And then he comes back to the real world, and it's like this punk fucking sheriff gets a hard on for him, you know, and then he just fucked with the wrong guy at the wrong time.
No, but they really highlighted a lot. Like, there was no systems made to reintegrate these people, you know, from killing somebody back to like normal civilian life. They were expected just to deal with it.
Fucked up shit. So, speaking of fucked up shit, Dan had a pretty busy weekend, huh? Good
Very
old Dan.
busy, especially when it comes to, you know, scrubbing things up, cleaning things, and, you know, making that record look spotless, you know. And
I love how he put that text out about, like, you know, and on top of all that, being a father of 3, and it's like, dude, stop. Your wife don't work, bro. Okay, if my wife didn't work, I wouldn't have to do fucking half the shit I do that I have to do, because both of us fucking work full-time job, and we have to pitch in both 50% with the kids. And that's what you'd have to throw that in there. Hey, 3 plus 3 kids. But the fact of the matter is, he has a wife who sits at fucking home every day. So that's like a built-in babysitter. All right.
Hold on. He does. But the thing is, though, she goes to him and complains, I can't get the kids under control, while he's trying to fucking record.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I mean, but, you know, I mean, so then maybe that does shed a little light on him saying that. But it's like, dude, you know, your wife don't work. Like, sorry, like, you know, all of us wish we could have a wife stay at home and take care of the kids. Like, that would be so much easier on me. I'll tell you that, but not easy on Shannon. But, you know, like, it's just excuse after excuse of shit. And then, like, I think somebody brought up something about, like, oh, if I won the lottery, I'd be gone. Like, I thought you do this because you love it.
Exactly. And Travis made a great point. And think of it that way. Like, dude, imagine if you win the lottery. You pay down all this fucking debt. You fucking, you know, you get yourself a new house. You're like, you're living again. Okay? You're not worrying no more. I'm sure that you'd be like, I'm going to do something that's fun. And now I don't have to worry about shit. Like, Foul Mouse is fun. Let's do fucking Foul Mouse all the time.
Yes, dude. Number one, I'd build myself a studio, right? So I'd have a spot to do what I want to do. And number 2, if I had money, like a good amount, I would give the shit away on shows. Instead of getting donations to me, I would start making donations during the show.
So do you, you agreed with my sort of stance where it's like, I'll double your fucking donations and we'll give them to this fucking charity.
Yeah, like I would do what that guy Beast kind of was doing, where I would go to people who don't have a lot of people following them, or kind of doing shows with, like, you know, a small amount of people watching them, and I try to fucking hit them off with donations and build their channel up for them. You know, like, that's what I would do on YouTube. Jump around and do some shit like that if I had the money. You know, make donations to a small show, watch everybody flip the fuck out. Like, you know, people that need it, that really need it. You know, a couple of IRL guys that are out there walking around trying to fucking, you know, hit them off. You know, I would do shit like that.
You know what I would do? Just like, this is just me. This is one idea. But like, this I think should give insight to people. If I won the lottery, like say I won 40 million Canadian dollars, okay, which is probably like 25 American, whatever, but we don't have to pay as much taxes as you guys do. One of the things I've always wanted to do is buy some land, make an actual hiking trail on there, and then donate it to one of the several hiking organizations that exists in Ontario.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
A lot of people have done that actually in the past, where like there's something called the Bruce Trail. It's like known worldwide. It's a very beautiful place in Ontario, and it's thousands. I think it's over 1,000 kilometers in length, and it just really that's what people have done. They, you know, they'll cut off a piece of their own land, of their own farm, of their own house, and they'll say, like, I'm donating it to this organization. You guys now integrate your trail into it, because, you know, until you can actually make a contiguous trail, there's like spots that stop and stuff. So there's a lot of organizations that I used to work with before I got unemployed because of COVID that would basically be in charge of, you know, okay, all these people want to donate these lands. Let's put it all together and make a trail. And because of that, there's literally a trail now called the Trans-Canada Trail that goes from one coast, actually goes to all 3 coasts. So it goes from the East Coast to the fucking Arctic Ocean, and then down to fucking the Pacific Ocean, and then through the country again. So you could literally hike that entire thing. It'll take you a couple of years. and camp on a lot of the areas and literally cross Canada on a system that was made on donations and fucking selflessness. I don't expect Joe to ever comprehend that sort of thing.
No. You were making me think while you were saying that, like my dream is to get like a piece of land and build a log cabin on it, like type of thing.
Well, I would love that too. No, I'm just thinking about what I would do to give back. Like, I've got all this great idea. Like, I'd love to build my own, buy some property, build, a log cabin, several houses. I would want to have both my parents living there so I can watch over them and stuff. Maybe just, build more houses and stuff, like just in cabins around the property for all my extended family. Because, that'd be just fucking great to have the family around. So
imagine having a nice cabin, but you have all the amenities in it. Like, you just have all the amenities like hooked up on the inside, where you have everything that possibly you could have digital wise, all that. And then on the outside, it's just plain fucking wilderness.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's my dream, man, right there.
I would love that too. But,
that would be my...
just to like in response to, what I would do to, just to give away, like, it would be something like that, like build a trail or, start these sort of donations where it's like, I'll match your donations. Let's give them to a charity that, could benefit from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if I won the lotto, that would be one of the first things I did was make donations out to like my favorite charities and shit. Like, definitely hit off the charity that helped me and Shannon, which wasn't Susan J. Coleman, which I made a mistake and thought it was, and Joe hung me out to dry for that, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I would definitely donate to those people. I forgot the name. I don't want to get it wrong. So, but yeah, back to the breast cancer research and all that. And I would give money to my family and my friends right away.
Yeah.
If it was a lot, but you're talking, you need a lot of money to do some shit like that. Like, you win $1 million, it's like, all right, pay down your debt, maybe put a payment down on a house somewhere. That's about it.
But yeah, it's just revealing that Joe, says, if I won the lottery, I'd be out of here so quick and stuff. And it's just like, if you won the lottery, you would normally just continue doing what you consider fun and enjoyable and not have to worry about any bills.
Damn, if I won the lottery, bro, I'd obviously be able to quit my job. So then I'd be able to buy a house. So I would do all that, and I'd build myself a fucking, a nice studio and hook it up. And then I would just start doing what I said. Like, fucking, if I had enough money, I'd put a little money to the side and say, all right, this is what I'm going to play with, and I'm going to give out, and I'm going to spread around to people and fucking hook up people. I would love to do that. That'd be fucking awesome. You know what? Honestly, in all reality, receiving is fucking great. When you sit there and you're getting people bless you with donations like that, there's nothing like it. All right. It makes you feel good in so many ways.
They sure ran a train on you the other day.
Well, dude, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like it's like a blessing, and you're being blessed on shit. And it's like you're very lucky to be in that situation and have people even give a fuck about you. So when you go on Twitter and you approach things in certain situations, it's like just a smack in the face to sit there and say, oh, well, fuck this shit. I would turn my back on it in a second if I didn't have money or, this or that. It's just smack in the fucking mouth.
It's also what a kid would do. It's like, me. Just come on, man, just stop.
Yeah, that's true too. It's like, be grateful, man. I heard him make the remark the other day about like, oh, so many people over there love God. And they love God and they always praise God and all this, and makes you think. Like,
actually, I played that earlier where he was like, it's funny coming from these guys when they're like saying that they believe in God and stuff. And I basically said, I'm not going to take advice from a godless communist. Like, who the fuck is he, man? He talks about religion, as does his wife. They're clueless about fucking it, and yet they're spouting this shit. And I think I've raised this point a while ago, is that Leo was talking about the flood, Noah's flood and stuff, but then referring it to Christianity. And when I reviewed this, or when I talked about it on a stream, I had said, I basically said, like, this woman doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, because if she even bothered to know history or even read, the Bibles, the Old and New Testament, she'd know that that what happened with Noah was way before even Abraham. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't-
Judaism hadn't even been established yet. Not to mention fucking what's it called? Christianity, which came after. So like she's trying to associate, you know, the views around the flood times with like Christianity when it had nothing to do with it. And it's just the total ignorance about, you know, religion and the historical time frame as well. You know, they can disagree with the, you know, religiosity aspects, but there's still like certain historical events that were happening that should orient them to what was happening at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's very, very quick to fucking, like, that's what he thinks of us, though. That's what he must think of, like, some of us that we're just, like, these people who pretend to, you know, be into, you know, like, listen, I'm not into God. I'm not into religion, but I have religion. And, like, I do believe in God. I do pray. I don't go to church at all, which I should, but I don't. My kids go to religion. They went to religion. They were baptized, the whole nine, you know, everything like that. But, like, I don't push it on anybody. I don't look at other people who don't believe any less of a person than I am, but I feel bad that they don't believe, to be honest. But I don't go around mocking people or trying to get them to believe. But the fucking fact of the matter that this guy sits there and fucking thinks that we're like these God-fearing people who lie and cheat, steal, and fucking are scumbags, and that's what he thinks of us. It's just mind-boggling because he hangs out and fucking and embraces people that are a million times worse than any fucking one of us, that have done more damage to him than any one of us. It's just weird. It's fucking very weird. You know?
Yeah, and the thing is, though, that he always misconstrues religion with spirituality. And due to his experience in life and his, I guess, inability to either look further into understanding, you know, life or faith or anything like that, just assumes that, you know, if you believe in God, then you're religious, which does not equate the two. You know, you could be a spiritual person, believes a higher power, but then says, well, these religions are dogmatic and really are very rigid and don't see things for how they are and stuff, but you can still believe in a higher power and not, you know, ridicule anyone who does or view the beauty in another religion because of its faith, because of its symbolism, because of its spirituality and its rituals. You can admire another faith, another religion without fucking being part of it or even endorsing it. I mean, like...
Look, I know.
Go ahead.
Dude, I knew he had a raw deal in the beginning. I get it. He had a raw deal. He had to sit there, watch his father die. I get it. A lot of people bring it up and talk about it. Some people give him a buy for it and shit. He brings it up quite a bit, jokes about it, says it's horrible shit about it, but that's his way of dealing with it, I guess. But, like, I know he had a raw deal. I get it. So it might be easy to lose faith. But when you turn around and you have it as good as you have it now and you have 3 healthy kids, you know, and you're in a good situation, like, why not fucking, like, nobody's telling you to believe, but, like, have faith in that. Have faith in your kids and in what you're doing in life and the people that support you. Like, have faith in them. You know, turning around and saying, I'd quit in a second if I had this type of money is like a slap in the mouth, man. I don't give a fuck which way you put it. You know, and you mentioned the other night they were running a train on me. Like, you know, you feel good when you're getting it and you have it and it's there. But the minute it's not there, it's very easy for it to go to people's heads where they're just like, oh, where is it? I want it. I demand it here every night. It gets to person after that long of doing it and expecting it that they could turn around and say some shit like that, you know, and insult people. But you know what? He's lucky because people don't give a fuck about that. They just like his entertainment. So they don't give a fuck what he says or does or what he gets accused of or what is really his fault or not. And they overlook it and they have fun, and that's the way it is. And, you know, give thanks in that. You know what I mean? Have solace in that or something. Look towards your kids for faith or your wife or whatever. But, like, have something, man. Jesus Christ. Like, don't be so ready just to sell out and fucking leave at the drop of a hat if something goes wrong. You know? Just seems really wild.
It's deep. It's deep, and I've encountered that for quite some time with him, and even Jesse is obviously much more open-minded with that. But yeah, Joe takes it as a personal affront that somebody has faith, And you can hear the same contempt from his wife when they discuss anything about religion or about, obviously Boston saw a big problem with all those pedophile priests that were protected for quite some time. But
I just want to make it clear, I was only saying that because of what Joe said, his comment about, because I wouldn't give a fuck about what Joe believes in or not. Okay? I'm only responding to him saying, wow, those people believe in God. They tell you that they believe in God. You know, they're like, that's like a fucking bullshit statement when you believe in absolutely fucking nothing and you don't give thanks for fucking nothing.
Well, actually, if you believe in nothing, chances are you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, which is true, man, because that dude falls for a lot of shit. A lot of shit.
And he doesn't recognize his own confirmation bias. Now, Travis, I am self-aware. Because hold on, give me a sec. Travis, I am self-aware. I know I'm biased against the Chinese, okay? And the CCP and other aspects. So I am not blind to confirmation bias, unlike Joe. Please continue.
How come he can say our names, but no one else on that fucking stream can say it? Why is that?
Because he gets to control the narrative. He gets to bring it up when he needs to bring it up. But other than that, if somebody else brings it up and he's not ready to have a clip ready to play, is in the mindset to push a narrative, he's not going to want that.
Fucking weird shit, man. Weird way of doing things. But hey, whatever. Whatever.
Not really whatever. I'll tell you why. Because I'm just tired of constantly, just holding back. And then when, I do mention something, it's like, oh, these people are going on hours on me and blah, 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 and this and that. And it's just like, well, talking about something that you raised. And, I mean, the other day, many people brought this up. I think I talked about it with you. But he did play my loon call video while I think Bullfrog was on the call. And the whole point was for him to just show me, looking goofy, which was the point of the video, with my old long hair looking, beautiful, flowing in the air. And just so he could just add that one final line at the end. Imagine this guy in a fight.
What? That's what he said?
You didn't hear that? No?
He said, imagine this guy in a fight?
Yeah, basically. So I can't remember how it started or something, but he's like, oh, he said to Bullfrog he was going to play some other clip, and then he plays me do the loon call, and then he laughs and stuff, and he's like, imagine this guy in a fight, referring to me.
Like, what does that mean? Because he's got long hair and he's fucking.
Because I've got long hair and because I like to talk about intellectual topics, I must be a pushover and a total pussy. I've never been in a fight before. This big loudmouth of mine at 40 years old has never been attempted to be silenced. The scars on my face aren't from people trying to punch me even while wearing glasses. No. Dave Rose is just some punk ass bitch who'd curl up in a little ball, if somebody confronted him. Meanwhile, on the fucking internet, Joe can't even call me to talk to me one-on-one.
Yeah, well, I mean, dude, I can't believe that he was fucking fight. Like, really? Come on, man.
Yep. He went there. He went there. Lakeisha, he went there.
He's spending too much time in that basement, bro.
He needs some windows in there to get some actual vitamin D and some light, and because that's slowly working in his mind, Go
to the beach and get some reality on your face, bro. A little bit. Get out into the reality a little bit. Have it hit your face a little bit.
But yeah, you heard the clip where they mention your name and, oh, no, don't say that. No.
Get rid of him. Boot him off. Boot him off the show. He said his name. That's it. Get rid of him. It's like fucking amateur night at the Apollo. You bring a fucking person on and they get started singing or doing a comedy act, and all of a sudden Sandman comes out.
The hook. You see the hook come in from the side.
Like, get rid of him. You're done. You said his name. You're gone. Sam comes tap-toeing out with the hook.
dude, it's just so sad because I hear these clips like that other show, that other host. It's just like, but you never shy away from mentioning a name. And yeah, here's the thing that you recognize that he refuses is that there's people who watch you that like you, that donate to you, that do the exact same for Joe. And you're not telling them, don't be here. You're not getting mad. You're not doing these little fucking passive aggressive little traits. Because again, Joe's become so transparent in regards to the way that he operates that it's just fucking, it's evident when he's fucking pissed or having a tantrum because somebody is somewhere else. And you've never done that.
No, never. And there's good people that are over here and over there. Like, I'm not going to name names right now because I don't want to call nobody out.
But why can't anyone just go to both sides and pay their money to whoever they want and that's it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, go wherever you go around, man. I appreciate that people are like, yo, I've spread this around. Like, thank you. I appreciate that. And I would never ever and people are on shows. They're on different shows and shit. They're not just donating. Some people are donating and they're on shows. And they're on like both shows sometimes and shit like that. And those people have free reign to fucking come and go on my shit because they're cool. I'm cool with them. If they're cool with Joe, has no bearing on it. You know, I just don't like. They know that I would never be mad at that, and they don't get mad if I mention him. You know what I mean? Because they like both of us. Then nobody ever goes to me and goes, "Oh, stop mentioning Joe, man, please." All right, because I'm cool with both of you. Like nobody says that. They're cool with it. They know what's going on. They got 2 eyes and ears and a fucking head. You know, they're not easily converted or brainwashed, you know. But you know, it is what it is, man. No, people know what they can do and what they can't do and on certain shit. And, you know, it's whatever. It's fucking YouTube. Like, get a grip. If somebody's in a chat, don't worry about it. Let them fucking go have fun. What do you care? The fuck do you care?
Well, did you hear the clip that I played earlier where he said that he didn't fire Tommy and then he admits he had to let Tommy go?
Yeah, it's so, dude, that was like the same day that was said of some shit, I think. Somebody was saying, like, he said that the same day. Like, oh, Tommy left on his own. Like, you know, Tommy doesn't want to be here. That's, you know, and then, like, later on that night or something, supposedly he was saying, well, I had to get rid of Tommy. I just had to get rid of him. I had to let him go. I had to get rid of him. He was getting to be, you know, converted and brainwashed. Like, he just, you know, believe me, when people say things to him, he believes it type of thing or something. So, I mean, it's like that same day. You don't even know what the fuck he's saying anymore. You really don't. You know, he's on there so much that, I mean, how much does he do? 70 hours?
That's what he said in the tweet.
Fans? Yeah. 70 hours in a 40-hour work week or something, he said?
No, he just, he makes, was it 70 hours? He works 70 hours a week, and it's funny. I'll read you the quote again because this is fucking funny. But he says, there we go. If you add up everything I do, it's now it's about 70 hours of work a week. Isn't it funny how much I work compared to anyone who has the time to speak more than 1 hour a week about me, plus add 3 kids, etc. And then he puts the whole line, "You're best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen" from the Rock movie.
Oh, man.
It's like, well, if your best is 70 hours and fucking failing Patreons and, you know, crap quality, you know, compared to like 1 hour of Dave Rose's stuff, then who's giving out their best here? Can he even like, be compared?
Job? He has a second job, obviously, right? I mean, if he's doing that.
Yep.
So, I mean, like, I can't say whether he is or he isn't. I don't know no better, but if he is doing 70 hours worth of work in a week, I mean, that's a ton of fucking work. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But, you know, I mean, a lot of that is the internet, right? I mean, he's on like every night. So,
yep.
You know, you're doing something you love. So, you know, there's no reason to complain.
Well, I mentioned that is that monetize this, for example, is 5 hours, 6 hours.
You get to chill out on the fucking weekends with your friends and drink and have a good time. Like, you can't beat it, bro. Like, the fuck? More power to you. Have fun with it. You know? Not everything's so doom and gloom. Fuck.
Well, apparently to him it is. He You know, he said earlier in one of the clips, he wished he had killed himself or some shit like that. And it's just so melodramatic.
He said that recently?
Yeah, I played it at the beginning. It was a clip I played at the beginning of this video.
Oh, bro. Damn. That's crazy.
Well, it's the typical Cronin.
That's horrible, man.
And yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean,
he's got 3 kids. Like he taught, like, come on, man, don't say that shit. Your kids are gonna hear that shit one day. Like I'm embarrassed half the shit I say if my kids hear it one day. Like, but I never said some shit like that. Like, I don't want my kids to hear me fucking say something like that. Damn, like, what saying that for? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I'm sure your kids will never hear you say that you never voted.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, but right now...
No, but that you never voted and that you were proud of it. You know how Joe's like, well, I voted for Obama the first time, but I supported him the second time.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that?
No, I never heard him say that, but I did hear him say that he voted for Obama.
But just the first time. You had to fill up the white guilt.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I'm kind of ashamed who I voted for, but at least I voted.
But you voted, was it Mitt Romney?
Yeah, dude, I'm so ashamed.
Well, he was the Republican sort of alternative. I wouldn't have voted for him. I probably would have voted for Rand Paul, to be honest. Or Rand Paul. No, was it Rand or? Rand. Ryan is his kid.
Looking back now, I should have. Like I should have just voted.
And I'm not a fan of Rand Paul too much on some of his economic policies. But
but at least he's more of a man than fucking Mitt Romney.
The guy's respectable, though. That's the thing. He's a respectable statesman. And the fact is also, this guy's an actual doctor. So this guy's delivered babies and like all this stuff. He's anti-abortion. So like,
dude, I agree.
This guy's a commendable guy, and
pretty good candidate. Huh? Pretty good candidate.
He was the least corrupted and the least compromised candidate at that point, and he was railroaded because the obviously the mainstream wanted the false dichotomy of fucking Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. They're both fucking. You can see at this point Romney's total fucking Democrat, but he just puts on the rhino character so that people will think, oh, he's an alternative.
Nah, he's fucking far from that. He's a fucking. He's a full blown Democrat now. I mean, come on.
Well, basically, when they reach such similarity, they're no longer either party. They're just fucking globalists.
Man, how does he keep winning, though, this fucking guy?
Lobbyists.
Man, it's such bullshit that these people get to fucking stay in office. It's like, this guy ran, he failed. It's like, leave now. The fuck out. But they stay and they stay and they stay and they stay because they like taking advantage of the fucking system and everything that comes with it.
But no, with regards to Joe, he voted for Obama once. He supported him the second time, which means he just fucking told everyone, I support this guy, and put up a bunch of memes, but never actually did anything about it. And, probably with his streams, encouraged a lot of racism and just false knowledge.
I would love for you to check out the movie Coming to America Part 2. Okay? Because I know you saw the first, right?
Yep.
Okay. And what'd you think of the first?
It was funny.
Classic? Oh, no.
For the 80s, yeah.
Yeah? So you agree with that? Classic, right?
Well, I heard you talk about it the other day, and it sounds like they went a little too woke. So,
well, I'm going to tell you one now, man, because I taking even more in-depth look at it now, man. Like, the movie is 100% rhetoric, like black movie, like rhetoric black movie, bro. Like I'm really upset with Eddie Murphy, man. And I really am because he's one of my fucking hero legends. That
So they're pulling a Cronin and trying to be victims, and no comedy. It's all fucking.
Say it, bro. It's not only religion and race and all that, but it's color and it's everything else that comes with it, man. And it sucks that it's that, because the original one was made from comedy first, an outlook of comedy.
Yep.
This one was made with a storyline and an image, and then comedy tucked in all throughout, right? And it's just fucked up that Eddie would let them get to him to this point, because Eddie knows and grew up on Long Island, a town over from me, went to the same college my sister, my wife, all my friends went to, and I'm retarded, so I didn't go, but they all went to. He went to the same high schools. He went to everything. He grew up here. And as soon as he hit 20 years old, he was gone. He was in New York City, and he was on that stage and on like the biggest stage as a comic could get, and became the biggest comic in the world at one point. And he never sold out. He always like maintained this. And then he started to sell out a little when he was making the kids movies and he was doing all that shit, but people were like giving him shit about that and stuff. And, you know, if you were a close fan, you would know that he was like he was given an excuse for that. And it was like, all right, you know what? You get a buy. You're Eddie Murphy. You're a great talent. You know, you get a buy on that. So whatever. We still love them, the Eddie Murphy fans, right? But now this movie, like the first time I watched it, I found myself wanting to love it because of the nostalgia and because it's Eddie Murphy. But the more and more you watch it, you pay attention to it, you pick up the little nuances. It's really a fucked up message. And it really just makes fucking white people and it just goes to the whole entire becking call that is America right now. And it's just fucking horrible. You know, it really is. It's a shitty situation. You know, they sold out. But today is a good day in a sense, because the guy from Amityville Horror who fucking murdered his entire family died today. That scumbag in a prison right here on Long Island.
Oh, yeah?
Died today. It's just shit. Yeah, so that fucking guy died today. So a lot of people are happy about that on Long Island today.
Yeah, good stuff.
That piece of shit murdered his entire fucking family and hacked them up. And then went to a bar and had a drink. But anyway, yeah.
I'm sure Tommy bought his mask.
You know, I took Tommy past that when he was out here, the Amityville Horror House.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did he hump the house?
He wanted to get out and walk around, and I was like, absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not.
Did you guys go to Times Square with him?
No, because you know what the day was that we.
Oh, the gay parade, yeah.
Yeah, it was the gay parade.
I remember him saying, "But why don't we go down?" And you're like, "No, like, not today. Any day but today."
Yeah, and I was like, "Dude, nope, because I know how the city gets, and it's not like I don't even have a problem with it. Like, it's not anything gay or anything. It's just like, no, I know when
the city gets paralyzed and the traffic doesn't move. The only way to get in and out is via the subway.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. And then if you go in the subway, you run the risk of getting trampled on to the max, like people fucking just like laying on you in the subway. And then also you run the risk of getting thrown onto the subway as you're waiting for the train. So you might want to fucking avoid that. You know? So Tommy was begging and begging. And I was like, you know, like, what are we going to do there, bro? Like, we're going to go in there and there's going to be a lot of gay people around. You're going to be like fucking probably flirting with half of them. You know, and I'm going to be tagging along while you're trying to get laid. So, no, not happening. So I didn't go there with him. But Filthy's going to be there in a couple of days, dude. You know that?
Yeah, I've been wondering when he's finally going to get there. And
can't fucking believe that, dude. Like, that's just... I can't believe he's... You know, because he's going somewhere, Filthy, with his wife. So they're going to stop that way on the way there, I guess. So...
Are there any strip clubs in Black Mountain?
I think so, yeah.
Because you know fucking Filthy's going to take him there, and he might try to grease the wheels and get the VIP room sort of vacated so that Tommy can be made a man.
You might be right, because I got news for you. He's already planning to get him drunk because they booked like this thing to
the winery, right?
Yeah, the winery.
No, that's a bad move, man. The guy's going to puke his guts out. No, I can tell you. I can tell you straight up. The sulfides in the fucking in the wine, they're gonna make him fucking puke. I can promise you that.
I agree, bro. I agree, dude. That is not somewhere where I would bring Tommy's ass. Definitely not. You know, he's definitely going to not respond to that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But hey.
So, but hey, you know, as long as it's on camera, what are you gonna do?
There's Treasure Club in Asheville. Also, Town Pump Tavern. That might be
oh
the
my
gay
God,
one.
Town Pump Tavern. That's like.
Let
the
me
gay
just check
part,
that
right?
quick to see if it is because that kind of name
Town
sounds
Pump
gay.
Tavern. Come to the Town Pump Tavern and fuck your way to the hearts of people of Black Mountain. Come and fuck your way into the hearts of the people of Black Mountain. Come to the Town Pump Fuck. Pump Fuck. Pump the town. Pump Tommy.
That'd be funny.
Dude, well, they're going to be getting hammered out, so I know that. And it should be a fun fucking thing to watch if they get it on camera. You know? We'll see.
At Asheville's Bare Breast Club, a name changes. That's hilarious.
Like, Tommy whips his tits out because he thought, like, you know, and they were like, what are you doing? He's like, I thought you wanted to see tits. And they're like, no, we have women coming out. Put your shirt on, dude. He won't know what to do at a strip club. You know, he's not going to know. Filthy's going to have to help him out.
Dude, Filthy's gonna buy him a private dance, and you know, she's gonna be sitting on his groin there, grinding away, and the next thing you know, she's gonna be propelled into the ceiling. She's gonna be like halfway embedded in there. His pants will have blown off, and it's like the whole VIP room's just gonna be covered in frozen ropes, and like the National Geographic is gonna fucking determine an earthquake went down there.
They're gonna pick up rhythmic fucking measurements,
vibrations,
like,
and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, we think that we think we just had an earthquake in North Carolina, and they're like, what? Yeah, what the fuck? They're like, we're picking up something here, some kind of earthmic fucking rhythm, you know. And then they'll single it down to the strip club, and they'll get there, and they'll be like, oh, it's Tommy NC blew a load. That's it. He's all right. And he'll come out with like a fucking, you know, his pants will be fucking just drenched, like years of fucking just backload, years of like just backfill, and like, you know, when you fucking finally let that pipe loose, and he's gonna fucking just explode, this kid. But hopefully that happens for him. I hope so. He might turn into a whole different guy, Tommy. He might have sex, turn around and be like, hello, Dave Rose, how are you, my friend? Yes, very nice to speak with you again.
If I was filthy, I would just get him a hotel room and hire a local escort and just prep her, before going in. Say, look, here's the situation. You know, lock the door and don't let him get out, and
rape him.
Yeah, that's the only way. But you just get him done.
Throw him on the bed and insert him into you, and just make sure that he gets, and thrust him.
Yeah, the next thing you know, he's making a fucking Tommy Talks. He's wearing a fucking smoking jacket, smoking a pipe. He's got an ascot on. He's next to a fireplace, drinking a whiskey, and he's like, welcome,
He's like, hello, folks. How are you? Tommy NC here once again.
This is Tommy from North Carolina, and thank you for joining us here today for Fireside Chats.
He would be fun. I told you, that's what's going to happen. Fucking all of a sudden, people are going to be like, what the fuck? He's a whole different guy now. Tommy turned into a fucking scholar.
Yep.
What? Ah, shit. All right, dude, I got to bounce. I got to go help Shannon now.
Not a word.
But I'll be listening. You staying on longer or no?
I'm not too sure. We just breached 3 hours. If anyone else wants to call in, they're encouraged. But we've covered just about everything we could.
What happened to YR when he called in?
I don't know. He said he was in the shower.
So
I don't know what color his hair is changing to now.
Dave, I'll put it on live screen real quick and show you what Shannon's doing real quick before I go.
All right.
Well, I want to show. I want to show him. She got some meat sauce going there.
Yeah.
She got some sauce. Got some bread, some macaroni, and then she's got some Dave Rose.
Oh, nice.
And she's got Rose right there with her. Look at that.
Looking good, guys. Looking good.
Yeah, we're getting ready to eat some dinner. I'm gonna set the table, Booby.
Yeah, I'm having my dinner in about half an hour. It's in the crock pot.
Anything good?
Making my typical, is it chicken breasts with cream of mushroom soup and spices and fresh mushrooms cut in there. It was a quick, easy meal that I wanted to make today, and well, I made it last night and just put it in today, and just let me do other things. I've been busy, so.
Yeah, the crock pot's a great thing, man. I love mushrooms, Dave. I just
so do I, man.
She won't eat them. But I love them.
Oh, there's so many different great mushroom varieties out there, though.
Yeah, my sister makes a good stuffed mushrooms, man. Oh, they're so good.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah, they're good, man. I wish you lived near me, man. I'd fucking come by and drop you off some food. Like, oh, well, my sister wasn't a good cook when we were kids, but now that she's had a family the last 20 years of her life, she became a fucking unbelievable cook, her too, man. And she makes these stuffed mushrooms, man, that are like, oh my God. People wonder why I'm a thick motherfucker. I have so many good cooks around me, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't even need to cook, bro. I'm a horrible cook. I can cook burgers, steaks, I could probably make macaroni. I probably couldn't make sauce if I had to. What else could I make? I mean, basically anything on the grill,
Well, you're a griller, and that's a good thing because that is definitely a role in society that is necessary. It is an expert artisan role that is required.
I fuck up a steak, though, Dave. I might fuck up a steak once in a while. You know what I mean? Like, I might overcook it a little too much.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, maybe I'll come in and it's a little raw still, a little too raw, and it's like, oh, God, this is not good. Like, once in a while. So I'm not a true professional of the grill, but, I could grill. I'm not that bad. I could grill. Normal. Easy, normal grilling style. Normal, nothing too great. My father's an unbelievable cook, though. He's the man. He's the master of all of them. I have to give him the championship belt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I do. I have to give him the belt. He's the man. I've never seen anybody cook like him. No one. The guy, when I lived there, dude, it was fucking unbelievable. Like, me and Shannon would wake up, be like, what is he going to do tonight? And, like, he'd make stuffed peppers and make, like, his own stuffing that went in these big, huge peppers. And, like, he'd make this fucking unbelievable stuffing for it. And, like, he'd make, like, weird shit, like chicken cordon bleu out of nowhere. We're like, what the fuck did you make? Oh, I made chicken cordon bleu. I'm like, what? But he'd do it like professional to the like when he would make chicken cutlets, fried chicken cutlets, Dave, he would like take the chicken and cut it like razor thin and then like add like the seasoning, and he would make sure that he had enough chicken to seasoning, like, because he didn't want too much chicken would overpower that seasoning when you would take a bite type of thing. And my father would like he just went nuts. He just would always like do shit like a chef would, And he basically was a chef. He basically is a chef, but because he cooked professionally at one point, but he's fucking unbelievable, man. I mean, and then Shannon was like, she wasn't great, but she is good now, man. I'll tell you that. She's fucking unbelievable.
Well, it takes some experience and time to get good. Obviously, no one starts off as an expert, and plus exposure to other recipes and stuff of the family definitely helps out.
Yeah, you're right about that. Once you learn like a couple of different recipes, and you start coming up with your own shit, and then you start, getting your own taste and flavor for what you want to do with it and all that. All right, Davey, I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right, thanks, man. You have a great day, and thanks for calling in. And let's welcome in the resident video game expert who is treading on thin ice since he is also featured on Joe Cronin Show. Let's welcome Casey is Raw.
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
Hey, I got a quick question. If we get Tommy laid, and are you guys going to let him jizz inside the girl?
Well, Ken left, and don't even include me in that, because that's not my operation. Okay.
Oh, I'm just saying. Do you think if let's say Tommy does do that, you think he'll get her pregnant on first shot though?
They're not gonna hire an amateur prostitute. Come on. If somebody's gonna hire a prostitute for Tommy, obviously they're in some sort of directory, which means they're professional enough to know to list themselves, and they know to fucking protect themselves. It's their fucking job. So.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be kind of funny.
Unannounced pregnancies seldom are funny, but hey, to each their own, I guess.
I'm just saying if Tommy it happened like first shot, Tommy gets someone pregnant. That was like,
no, because then you're going to eventually have a child who's probably genetically deficient that won't grow up with a father. So perhaps the best thing to do would be to
wrap it up.
Well, go further. Perhaps there should be a crowdfunding, program that goes towards giving Tommy a vasectomy. That would prevent little Tommies from sprouting in the future and would allow him to release his urges without, causing another child without parents.
I've been enjoying the whole show, Dave. I just want to call him. I really just want to say that real quick. I thought you and Ken was saying was kind of funny about the whole Tommy thing.
Yeah.
But,
well, hey, appreciate your call and your input.
I'm just tired. I just got home.
No worries.
But thanks for letting me call in.
Anytime.
All right, I'll see you.
Have a good one. So, we are now at 3 hours and 10 minutes. And we'll keep the phone lines open a little longer. Just going to review the chat here. Got Nikki J, who just joined us. See if I missed anybody else in the chat here. Just random conversations in the chat, but we got 66 fake viewers right now watching, and I'm sure one of them is Joe. But hey, Skype lines are open to you too, Joe. I know you're not going to call, but hey, the door is open. And, you could repent. I am, after all, an ordained priest, and you can clearly come here and repent, bend the knee, kiss the glittery ring, and ask forgiveness from the one true God. Not me, though, obviously. I'm just a servant. But the God that you refuse to believe in. But regardless, it has been fun. I'm gonna go for 3 hours 15 minutes. You guys know how I like my numbers. But yeah, it has been enjoyable to speak. This really wasn't a big deal. I mean, 3 hours for me, I could do them. I can go 9 hours even. But I just thought I'd mention a few things today, address a few things that needed to be addressing. And just remind Joe Cronin that his little tantrum the other day trying to lie about why I left and why Jesse said what he said had to be addressed yet again. And although the previous stream I talked about it on did not have the screenshots on today's show, it did. But I've shown those screenshots before, and chances are I'll probably have to show them again. But, tit for tat, Joe. Every time you move forward on these lies to try to say that you are, this victim in this entire situation, you're going to find people like me or Nikki Nines, who's going to probably take it harder on you because he never worked with you, exposing you. And you can, the worst thing you can do is continue to, pipe the same tune. Because you're still making yourself out look like a victim, that we're all attacking you, this and that, and I worked with you, okay? My grievances are valid. Ken's grievances are valid. And Tony's grievances are valid. And you think that you're just going to be able to waltz around them and convince your audience. No. It's just better this way, Joe, if you just come out and acknowledge this, or at least confront me about it. I mean, you have no problem on your shows having a bunch of people to target one person, but you can't go one-on-one. I find it comical you're willing to be on a call with Ken, like with Bullfrog, for example. You've done that with YR. But anytime I do a solo show, you're not around to be able to call in. Now, yeah, okay, you probably blocked me. I haven't blocked you. But, yeah, you could easily call in and defend yourself. But why do you think you need multiple people to defend yourself? Like, you call into YR show so you can speak about Ken and it was Bullfrog's show. To speak about what was said, but you can't call in here. It's sorry, man, you're not this tough guy that you say you are if you can't just simply go up against Dave Rose one-on-one. You can't. You can't do this. So you have no legs to stand on. And I find it comical that you're willing to be on the same show with Ken, but you can't go with me, though. It's just, it doesn't fucking make sense. All right, hold on. Let me just catch up with the chat here. Let's see here. I gave Welsh 60 seconds to call in and did now its turn. Yeah, obviously a fake Luke Rojas because you can't be real. But, once I go down to New Jersey, that'll be taken care of real quick. And Chicago. But I'm not going to go to Chicago. I'm going to do something with Chicago. There's also Detroit. Can't forget. I got to plan my map out properly, or my route. Let's see here. Tony from Revere says, Joe won't ban you, then hell really have no one. Don't understand. Travis says, wasn't YR going to call? Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, well, it could be, couldn't be, who knows. But regardless, it's not like these people don't get me mad. I'm fucking like, you hear me, like I just go. I just give the truth. And you got these little fucking faggots in the chat, these little Jacob RPs and these little Chris Moores and stuff. And they're, making these comments and stuff. And there's people here with fucking wrenches. But I'm not even paying attention to like you heard me earlier. I was having to catch up with the chat. So I'm not really concerned about what you're saying. I'm clearly not being triggered. And you're really just wasting your time because eventually you just get removed and stuff. And I'm sure that somebody like yourself, just lacking that attention that, you wanted from your father, but you got too much from your uncle, if you know what I'm saying, right in the pooper, that, you're just now really thirsty for some sort of affirmation. But it's not like Joey Joe Jr. Shabadoo could ever give that for you because you're just so thirsty. So thirsty. Well, it is the way of the half-breed mestizo. And for that, they must all be culled. But continuing on here, let us see if we can get a hold of Community Faggot here. Are you done with your fucking shower?
Yes, I am.
All right, well, you called in. I'm sure you've been listening. What would you like to say?
So basically, great call from Ken. We are excited to, hear a show today. The major thing that comes out to me, you were making fucking good points, you and Ken, about not being grateful, thankful, humble, stuff like that. You really have to believe in. Well, first of all, I'm not going to get. I don't want to listen to no one's opinion if they don't believe in religion. That doesn't sound right. Let me rephrase that. No one has the right to talk about religion if they don't believe in it. That makes sense. To tell me if it's real or fake. You know what I'm saying? Which we've always know they've been, especially Leah, super atheist, everything like that. Which is fine if you don't have faith.
More like Satanist.
Well, yeah, especially with didn't she have a Halloween Christmas tree or some shit?
I don't know. Her penchant for things
That's what it was.
Of that nature are questionable. She's a redhead, though. So, witches, redheads, Salem, Massachusetts.
Now, before I'm going to go ahead and call it out now, so we can go ahead and explain it. Joe's going to be saying probably this week, "Oh, they're over there attacking my wife. My wife's getting attacked. Leah's getting attacked and shit because she was brought up." That doesn't mean she's attacked. All she was brought up. That's all. There's no attacking. He likes to use that word a lot, especially if he's trying to get around a narrative. So, we all know about Leah. She, look, you and me know that she's kind of always been your whatever arch nemesis when it comes, politics. Going down that road. She's basically the opposite of what we believe in. As people with common sense. We don't even have to. I'm not going to label you as Republican, Dave, but we have common sense, and 75% of the population does not have common sense. Believe it or not, the numbers are a little, rounded there, but and what I've learned, because look, we can't stereotype people from the New York guys over there, the Boston people, because one of my closest co-host I have right now, and means a lot to me, Tony from Revere. You know what I'm saying? He's from that same area as Joe, and he's not a prick. He's not an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So, that makes me, think different, look another outlook at things. But at the end of the day, we know Joe. He's a dick, and he's a prick. If he didn't, that's his dream. I remember him saying that a lot. That, my dream is to, just love to, do this for a living and be with you guys. And now, look, he's burnt out. He's probably burnt out on it. And especially right now, he's saying all that shit. And right now, it's WrestleMania season. You should be ramped up. You should be excited. I know you mentioned about too many wrestling shows, but I feel like there's just no buzz with WrestleMania in the Cronin community right now, the way it should be. yes, is it hard to get excited about? Yeah, because dealing with the circumstances of the COVID-19, but we can see his views declining. He does way too much wrestling shows, and he can't seem to branch out. Now, I'm not going to be one-sided here. We all know Ken has the mellow issue. That's really on the issue on the Ken side. That I could say, other than that, Ken is doing good shows, doing the right thing by people, having people's back, and that's what it's all about. I mean, I'm just being real. I'm not going to give fake, pity, props. I really will give you my real answer and what I feel on things. Other than the mellow situation, Ken, everything's good. I mean, I know my opinion doesn't matter, and who cares about my whatever. I've heard it all, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully one day the mellow situation will seep through Ken, and he'll make some changes. But other than that, it's good. No issues. Joe is really sinking down a hole, and he's really going mad every day. He's doing something, saying something extreme and inappropriate, out of the line. We'll see what this week has to offer, due to the fact that it is getting closer to the tribunal. Hopefully, is it going to be on Saturday, next Saturday? Dave Rose, can you tell us that?
Hoping so. Again, I haven't been able to get a hold of Nikki. So once that's done, it's just good to go.
We need to get that. Nikki, if you're out there, brother, it's almost the end of March. I mean, you pretty much, so it's on Nikki now, and hopefully we'll get this going, because it's very long anticipated. Scott has been out of the mix for a little bit.
He's been trying to stay quiet, but it's not going to help.
Well, the focus has been on Bullfrog lately, so he probably.
Yes. But that's just been what's been going on while I wait to hear from Nikki. But
well, Nikki, if you're out there, brother, and you want to be a part of the tribunal, contact me or Dave. No, he knows what to do. But I will be looking like I'll be going live whenever you're done with your show. I'm gonna go live with Tony and SC and the boy.
Go for it now, man. 7:00 start time. There you go.
Well, hold on.
Good
Do
handoff.
you agree with? I'm gonna leave you with this, because instead of doing drama in the title, this one is the community chill booth. It's a chill community, still base stream. Community is going to be brought up, but it's trying to take that drama word out of the community. I feel like Scott really made that drama word, bad stigma on it, if you catch my drift. You know what I'm saying? Kind of, mixing up some things. This Tony shit's changed my whole life on YouTube. I mean, I really seriously, I would say the same thing. Like, if Dr. Brown was hanging around all the time, like Tony, then, of course, we'd be strumming our guitars and shit, and all that. But, like, Tony has a piano, and he does his thing and all that. So I think we, you know what I'm saying? We're going to get into some 420 talk, of course, and have a good time tonight. So Raw's on, which is probably going to suck anyways. And I'm pretty horny. So we're going to have to go live.
All right. Good stuff. All right, man. Well, I'm going to wrap up shop here.
Thank you, brother.
So thanks for calling in.
God bless you, for real. God bless.
All right, man.
Is a real guy.
So, that being said, guess we're going to wrap it up right now. Wrap it up nice and tight, like a tiger. And yeah, 3 hours, 30 minutes, Joe. Eat your heart out, Joe. But hey, it just goes to show, Joe, that you're not getting away with fucking pushing the narrative no more, okay? It's just better if you just say, yeah, you're the one with the problem, you're the one causing these issues, and yeah, Dave Rose is not a liar, unlike what you said, and you got disproven here, and you move on. And when somebody talks about you, you just move on and don't say a thing. That shows that you're the adult there in that situation. But, hey, it is what it is, I guess. You know? I don't freak out at least when somebody talks about me. But doesn't mean I'm not willing to respond in kind. And yeah, I mean, you're 70 hours. It's a lot in the week. But hey, 3.5 hours just on you. Consider it a pleasure for one. And, just further proof that it's still superior to what you do. And, I don't need a yes man like Jake fucking next to me sucking my cock. So, but on that note, I do appreciate everyone that did join us here today. We did breach a total of 66 fake viewers. And I just want to end off this show by saying I hope you have a great day and pleasant tomorrow.